least that's what was found from his investigations. Though they had a plan to use it, the clones knew where everything was and what they needed to do to achieve swift success. A Gato mansion. Let's discuss the layout and how to take over them. The first blood clone, whom the original decided to be the leader of this mission, spoke with authority. In front of him were 80 shadow clones in addition to the 3 blood clones in attention, listening to him. The third blood clone, who was doing the reconnaissance, started explaining about every place in the mansion and what their purpose is. The mansion is a big place with many small parts in it. The first is the warehouse for all the shipping materials and raw materials for Gato's shipping and construction company. The second one is another warehouse, but this is for his not-so-legal activities like drugs, human trafficking, and illegal companies. The third one serves as his bodyguard's residence and their rooms, and the last is the mansion. They will be in a loose U shape with the 3 warehouses guarding the mansion in the middle. Maybe it was made like that for security, but it was well made. On the other end of the mansion is a clear view of the ocean and an easy escape route for the heightless bastard. The mansion is big and is 3 stories high with many rooms and waiting areas. So we should neutralize his escape route first and then take care of all the guards and warehouses to break into the mansion. What a pain. What's the time? It's about to be 2. Okay, we have wasted enough time. Let's get started. We have 4 blood clones and 20 shadow clones for each of them. Divide into 4 groups and attack from all sides. I will take my team and guard the mansion while Team 2, 3 take care of the warehouses while Team 4 sees the exit route. Is that clear? The blood clone asked, and all of them nodded with an "Hi." Good. For victory, boys. The leader cheered as all of them dispersed to do their assignments. As they dispersed and took positions, the first blood recollected everything they found about the short scum in their mission. The third blood clone, disguised as one of Gato's men, went in to find all the information, and it was a great payoff, and found more about Gato's largest shipping companies and other activities in detail. First came his business deals and supplies they made to different countries. The shot good for nothing bastard managed secure good deals with small nations and secured a good market. Though all his records are filled with corruption and other means of acquiring deals, Naruto found out about all the other businesses Gato was part of and the pleasure he is having being part of them. The clone would have burnt the whole estate when he found everything if not for the explicit order to just spy for information. He had to suppress his murderous urges to do the job smoothly, and the letter for Zabuza came as a relief. As he went into detail, his blood boiled. Every day, Gato's bedroom, which was on the 3rd floor, will be supplied with a different woman, and their activities take place there for the whole night irrespective of the women's willingness. The 2nd and 1st floors were other rooms where he regularly meets with different clients, who in this case would be most bandit mob leaders and terrorists. Naruto confirmed them from the bingo book he carried. He understood the need for them after his real mission and started carrying one with him everywhere. Where am I again? Gato's businesses. First, he is doing the shipping business as his company says, but taking complete control over Nami, which allowed him to do shipping as he liked, and that resulted in other businesses he started. He is smuggling drugs to other nations in his container ships under the disguise of scrap supplies. He is doing human trafficking with women he brought from somewhere, as all the faces don't look to belong here to Nami. He also had so many dealings with various bandit gangs as he is a supplier of weapons for them. He had planned to kill Zabuza and Haku and keep the money for himself. The last part interested Naruto. He didn't think that Gato was foolish enough to kill an A-rank missing ninja and his accomplice easily with some roadside thugs. Poor fellow. As this was happening, other clones started their work. The first group of clones cast the hidden mist jutsu, which is a recent addition to their repertoire, and as the area was covered in a thick blanket of mist, they activated their Sharingan and slowly moved forward to neutralize all guards were perplexed by the sudden blanket of mist. They slowly killed all of them silently and proceeded in. While the other squads are busy with their assignments, the first blood clone had enough recollection to kill Gato slowly and painfully, and after making sure everything is ready, he moved in. It's simple, boys. Step in, neutralize anyone who comes in our way, and move to the useless scum's bedroom on the 3rd floor. He explained in a whisper and got resolute nods. After getting a successful dispel from 3 other squads who were successful in their assignments, he made his way to Gato's bedroom. They neutralized anyone who could get in their way easily and went up and reached the only room on the 3rd floor. Without any delay, the blood clone kicked the door off its hinges and entered. They saw the short scum with a woman who was sleeping under him, both of them naked. All the commotion made her open her eyes, which stared directly into a spinning 3-tomo Sharingan and put under a genjutsu. She was sent away to the secured hostages in the warehouse where some of the clones are asking about everyone's whereabouts and other details. The ignorant short businessman didn't even move while the woman left and was blindly searching for something he could squish in sleep, and the blood clone walked up to him slowly. He kicked Gato hard in the balls, which made the coward's eyes open in fury. His words were ready to shout. Naruto waited for him to completely go through the pain, and when he looked up, he smiled wickedly. "Hi there, shorty. What's up?" he asked deviously. Gato's fight or flight instincts kicked in, and even though naked and barely reaching Naruto's ears, he jumped towards the table and pulled out his cane. "WWW who ARYYU?" he asked in a low tone while pointing his cane towards Naruto. He can't understand. How can one person have this many twins? Maybe he can use these people to further his business? Even when his death was standing in front of him, all Gato could think of was how he could use Naruto to further his greedy ambitions. "Oh me? I'm just a little old friend others call death. I have come to liberate you," Naruto said with a sweet smile. Hearing the person in front of him is not going to kill him, Gato regained his brave composure. How did Gato come to that conclusion? Only Kami knows. "Oh, that's right. I'm Gato the Great. I will have everything in this world. Tell me, what do you want? Money, drugs, women, ports, ships dash." He went on listing everything he can offer for this liberation Naruto is offering. Naruto was perplexed. How can someone with such a greedy and criminal mind can be such a clueless idiot thinking liberation he is offering to be some kind of plaything? Fool. Damn fool. Stop your useless rambling. I don't want all of them. I just want one thing. Naruto interrupted, and this made a frown appear on Gato's face, but he turned to listen to the blonde anyway. "I want your life," Naruto said slowly, his eyes changing from the cold blue Gato saw till now to blood red with 3 tomos spinning, which was giving the shipping magnet a death glare. "Genjutsu, Jigakumen, Gate of Hell," Naruto said, dragging Gato into a strong genjutsu which takes him to the gates of hell and gives him a taste of every punishment Naruto made for him after recollecting everything Gato did. Gato started to wheeze out in pain and started gasping for air and crying in agony. But Naruto didn't stop. This continued for 15 minutes while Naruto watched in satisfaction, after which Gato passed out. They woke him up with the same kick to the balls and continued. After 3 hours of repeating the punishment, Naruto started talking. "Gato, transfer all of your business assets and dealings to the Uzumaki undertakings or else." Naruto doesn't need to complete that statement as the bloody and pale Gato nodded vigorously. Only one thing was running in his mind. He needs to get out of this. He didn't think a day like this would come. But after witnessing those horrific gates, again and again, he is not going to do anything like this again. He signed all the required papers, after which one of the clones knocked him out and threw him into a holding cell. They searched Gato's office to separate everything into various categories. Everything went according to plan, and only the final part needed to be executed. All the clones assembled in the master bedroom of the mansion to discuss. "Well done, boys. Boss will be happy to hear our progress," the first clone said in appreciation. "What do we do with Gato? Should we execute the last part now?" the second blood clone asked. "Nah, we will do it in the morning." He turned to the fourth blood clone, the original sent here. "You know what to do," he said, and the fourth blood clone nodded and vanished in a shunshin. "Let's go to the vault and value his assets. We still have work to do," he ordered, and everyone fell into work again. Next morning, with the fourth blood clone. The fourth blood clone disguised himself as one of the daimyo soldiers and raced across Nami. "He is here. Our savior is here," he yelled as he raced across the empty streets of the island nation. Lights started coming from the households as they walked out in the early morning to see what the commotion was about. "Who is here?" one of the impatient men yelled at the running soldier. "Our leader. He is back. The one who is wandering has come to help us. He challenged Gato and will be victorious. Come to the constructing bridge if you want to witness this." He yelled and started repeating it. The people were surprised. Who is their savior again? They didn't know. But if someone is willing to fight Gato on their behalf, they are willing to help. Spread the word across the nation and come to the bridge construction site. We will get our freedom back. The soldier yelled for the last time as he moved past the road and into the woods. Now that's done. Let's wait for the day to come. The clone smirked, going to Gato's mansion to help its brethren. Few hours later, on Tizuna's bridge. So who do you think this savior might be? One of the villagers asked as they waited for this savior to come. Who knows? Let's see what this poor soul will do against Gato, he said, picking his ear. Is this a joke to you? The future of our country is at stake here, and all you do is talk nonsense. One of the villagers yelled. Do you have any problem with that, Missy? I can take good care of you only if Gato-sama has permitted me. You are lucky that he reserves that right for us, he yelled, taking a sword. That's not the way to talk to a woman, and are you one of Gato's men, mister? A voice asked from the man's back. What? When did you sneak up on me? He yelled in surprise, trying to cleave the man in half with his sword. These are some dangerous things you are playing with. I suggest you implore caution while using them, the man said, breaking the sword in half with his hands. Don't kill me, please. I did everything Gato said. It's not my fault. He threatened to kill my family, he begged. Everyone stared at the new arrival. He is a young man of average height with a lean build, gold eyes, and messy black hair. His outfit consists of a pitch-black shirt with a high collar and long sleeves. The sleeves have brown leather that covers the wrists and upper arms. He wore light brown pants that are cut below his knees and, around his waist, a pair of brown belts that cross each other. Additionally, he wore a pair of dark-colored socks and a pair of boots. But a symbol can be seen on every part of the fabric as it represents something. It can't be. Daimyo-sama, how did you survive that attack? Tizuna asked with a gasp. No, I'm not your daimyo. Unfortunately, Tusama died during the attack, saving me from the world in the process. I have come to help my country regain its former glory, he said as he carried something behind him, dragging it along the unfinished bridge. Ha, sensei, look at that. There is something behind him. Sakura pointed as Team 7 heard of the savior and came here to watch with others. Citizens of Nami, I, Azai of Nami, son of Kozui, former daimyo, hereby vow to protect Nami with everything I have. I'm sorry for my long absence. I was on a training trip to become strong enough to protect you to the best of my abilities. I learned many things on this trip and promise to protect you from anyone like this. Are you willing to give me a chance? Azai asked the people present. If Azai-sama is back, then we can do anything. We are with you on this, Azai-sama. Yes, Azai-sama. It's a tragedy that Kozui-sama couldn't make it. But you have our support. Yes, yes, yes. They started to cheer and Azai bowed to them in respect. Take your revenge on him for what he has done. I want some help to send everyone I found in the mansion. And Shinobi-san, thank you for helping our country when we are in need. Azai bowed to Team 7, to which Kakashi nodded. I hope you can stay till the bridge finishes. It would be a great support for us, he respectfully asked, and Kakashi nodded. Move, men. Let's get started. We are going to rebuild Nami, Azai called, and with the cheers of hundreds, everyone moved to the daimyo's mansion. No one suspected a thing while Naruto kept smiling for some reason. Ha! Is that simple? Tell them your father is killed and you are here to support them and they accept you? Well, maybe I should do this more often. What are you planning, Kakashi? Azai thought as they moved to Daimyo Mansion. Daimyo Mansion. At Nami's Daimyo Mansion, it's a rush of activity. Naruto clones are working to hide everything they don't want anyone to see and arrange things for the daimyo's takeover. Soon they heard footsteps and vanished to the port, changing their appearances and coming towards the mansion to stand in line. Welcome back, Daimyo-sama, they said in a chorus, and Azai nodded in acknowledgement. Relax, gentlemen. I have brought our people to help you. Ask them where you need help and they will help you, Azai said, and everyone was given a job to do. Might it be to help all the victims or change everything in the mansion? Kakashi approached Azai at this moment to talk about some things and coughed into his hand to get his attention. Yes, Shinobi-san, how can I help you? Azai asked in a respectful tone. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Daimyo-sama, but can I know where you were all this time? Sorry for the intrusion, but it's part of my mission. Kakashi asked politely. He dealt with circumstances like this before. Of course, you would be suspicious as I kinda appeared out of nowhere. A few years ago, Tusama sent me to Tetsu no Kuni to be trained to protect Nami from any external threats. When Gato came here, I was in deep training and couldn't come here while Tusama tried his best to protect Nami. But his strength is not enough. He made sure no news reached me. But when I heard about his death, I came to check on the country and found all our soldiers on the way. They explained the situation and with the help of my senseis, decided to train more and they all trained with me. We came back to liberate our nation. But Tusama's loss is a great loss to our country. Azai said in a somber tone. Tetsu no Kuni? Like in the samurai nation? Why the hell did the daimyo of Nami send his son to train with them? Kakashi thought, perplexed. I know it may sound absurd, but it's true. It's done in secrecy so that the opportunist people like Gato don't know. Even my people don't know except for a few, he said in a somber tone again. Kakashi understood what happened. So Gato killed the few who knew about that, huh? It's a great way to nullify the threat and thus delaying his return. Hee. How's that, Kakashi? Can't make heads or tails, eh? Well, you can't go to Tetsu no Kuni to confirm that, can you? It's the best plan. Databeo, Azai thought with a cackle. Here is your mission payment, Shinobi-san, Azai said, pushing a cash bag towards Kakashi. But isn't your country in need of money? We came on this mission to help your country, not to demand you for money, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Oh, we have money. Don't worry. Gato had enough for us to bounce back and prosper again. Tell Hokage-sama my gratitude. Your help and concern are also appreciated, Shinobi-san, Azai said with a bow and Kakashi rubbed his cheek in embarrassment. He bowed in respect and accepted the mission payment and started to Tezuna's home to rest. Heh, the island got rid of Gato and got a daimyo so fast that I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see with my own eyes, Zabuza said, sitting on a tree branch. Look, Zabuza-sama, it's Naruto's team, Haku said, pointing to the retreating Team 7. Oh, let's pay them a visit. Going somewhere, Kakashi? Zabuza asked, landing in front of him. Zabuza? I thought you would have left seeing how Gato was neutralized, Kakashi asked while Sasuke put a hand on his kunai pouch to attack. Heh, I got a better option even before the short fool fell, so I took it. Calm down, kid. I'm not going to kill you, Zabuza said to tease Sasuke. Good to know that I don't need to deal with you anymore, Kakashi said with a shrug. The feeling is mutual, Kakashi. Do you trust that fellow? He asked, gesturing to the kindly talking Azai. He is okay, I guess. I didn't find any deception in his words. So yeah. Well, it's not my concern anymore. I look forward to fighting you again, Kakashi, Zabuza said and vanished in a water shunshin with Haku. What's that about, Kakashi? Sasuke asked impatiently. This mission is a complete failure except for the tree climbing. He didn't learn anything. At this rate, he can't reach him. Nothing. Let's work on your chakra control, Kakashi said, dragging the fuming Uchiha and Team 7 with him. The construction work of the bridge increased at Azai's behest and the bridge was ready in 3 days. Team 7 trained to further their chakra control with a fully healed Kakashi. Chapter 7. Conclusion. With Team 7. While the bridge construction was going at high speed, Kakashi decided to train his team further on the insistence of Sakura and Sasuke. While Naruto watched then asked with amusement. Okay, I'll train you. But what should I train you in? He said with a hand under his chin. How about breaking a genjutsu? Surprisingly, it was Naruto who suggested it and others turned to him in surprise. The blonde isn't the one to suggest anything. He does what was told and separately trains more if he wants to practice something while his other teammates are stuck in the previous exercise. Though Sasuke was jealous, he couldn't do anything. Why genjutsu in particular? Kakashi asked in interest. That's a clever suggestion, yes. That's why the copy ninja is curious how Naruto got the idea. Well, when I saw you fight Zabuza, you not only copied what he did but also put him under a genjutsu. So I got curious how I would fare against it and suggested it. Naruto said with a shrug. It is useful to test how far you have mastered Sharingan and can also be a scale for me to push my Sharingan. Naruto thought to himself. What was left unsaid was how Sakura was useless to defend herself from the easy genjutsu Kakashi cast on her during their team test, which made the Pinkett swallow. That's a good idea, Naruto. Let's get started. But after this, you are going to spar and build your teamwork. You know Dash? Yes, we know. Now start casting already. Naruto cut the silver-haired man and Kakashi gave him an eye smile and removed the headband from his left eye. A lone Sharingan eye with 3 tomos came into view for his team to see. It's the same eyes. The same eyes he has and I don't. Sasuke raged as he gazed into his clan's Kekii Genkai after a long time. If only he awakened them, he would be one step closer. Those are terrifying, Sakura thought in fear. Inner Sakura supported the Pinkett on the matter. Yes, show me, Kakashi. Show me how skilled I can be. Naruto thought in glee. Though he was a blood clone, he is capable enough to endure whatever Kakashi threw at them and so began their training. Before I start, let me explain how to detect and break from a genjutsu, Kakashi started, his team giving him their 100%. If he is going to train his team in something, he is going to do it completely. No half-assed training. Either they are going to be winners or losers. No in-between. You know what a genjutsu is? Genjutsu is an illusion cast by a user by injecting their chakra into the victim's body, and there are a few other methods to cast genjutsu as well. The well-known method is through the Uchiha Sharingan, in which the user sends their chakra through eye contact and traps the victim. There are methods to counter it as well. First, if you are facing a Sharingan user, don't look them in the eyes directly. And there are several options to counter genjutsu. First is to disrupt the chakra flow of the victim if the victim didn't come out of the genjutsu. This is most used in a team. It's easy, just channel your chakra into your teammates and the genjutsu will be lifted. Next is pain. Pain that is not caused by the genjutsu can bring victims back to their senses. Most used one being pinching hard or biting yourself or anything that causes physical pain will release you from the genjutsu. If a caster's vision is obstructed, such as by the hiding and miss technique used by Zabuza, that at least prevents the use of ocular genjutsu like with Sharingan. These are the 3 main methods followed in Konoha. Now casting is a different case, so I'll train you in evasion first. Kakashi finished and his team nodded. Kakashi made 2 shadow clones. All 3 of them took 1 member of Team 7 and Naruto observed how the original Kakashi went to train Sasuke. I'll start with a low-level genjutsu and will increase as you get adapted to it. Let's start, Kakashi said, and all 3 students stared directly into the spinning Sharingan. Demonic illusion, double false surroundings jutsu, said all Kakashis simultaneously. All the members of Team 7 were put into the genjutsu. This genjutsu, as the name suggests, will put his students into 2 genjutsus, one surrounding the other. They generally can't identify the second one after dispelling the first one and make an easy target. He wants to test their skills and use this as their first test. He knew Sakura won't stand this a month ago. Can she stand it now? She fell for the false death genjutsu he put on her and thought Sasuke died after all. And so began Team 7's training in genjutsu, and Naruto began to copy as many genjutsu as possible from the copy ninja, who is unaware of the blonde schemes. With Zabuza. While Kakashi is training his team, Zabuza is also training the 2 under him, Naruto and Haku. I should have known you can use that clone jutsu well, brat, Zabuza said as he slashed Naruto with his long sword. Heh, how can I miss the opportunity to train under you? So I just used a clone, Naruto said with a wide smile. This is the original. After sorting everything through, the original returned to Wave late at night and became the acting daimyo. After assigning tasks to everyone, he replaced the clone with Zabuza, who proposed to teach him and accepted. You have skill with the sword, but you can improve. Train with Haku using your sword and try to slice through all attacks. Kenjutsu is different from other forms of shinobi arts. For other arts, your mind and body are enough to train and perform. But for Kenjutsu, you will have an additional tool, a sword with you. Treat it like an extension of your body. When you become one with your blade, only then the sword will show its true strength, its true power. All blades of Shinobigatana Shishininshu are unique. They have something special about them, and one of us takes that speciality to another level. That's why he is dangerous. Zabuza went on a tangent. He shook his head, coming back. The point is, you should use your sword as a part of your body and become one with it. Let me tell you, brat, when you truly master your sword, you will have no equal. That applies to any art you master. Zabuza said passionately. Wow, I didn't think you were this passionate about swordsmanship, Zabuza. Well, let's get started, Naruto said, bringing out Mayuri and charging toward Haku. Haku is observing the blonde carefully. She didn't know why, after his entrance, her life changed. Changed for the better. She is going to Kiri with an official invitation, which she never dreamed of. Though how that turns out is to be seen, she knew the blonde in front of her is special. She has a new goal now, bringing Kiri to her former glory, and so with that vigor, she used her ice and sparred with Naruto. Killing ice spikes, Haku said. Ice spikes forming beneath Naruto to pierce him. Naruto was only allowed to use his sword. You will certainly kill me if given the chance, Naruto said, jumping from the spikes and cutting them with his wind-encased Mayuri before he landed. That's the whole purpose of this match, Naruto-kun, Haku said emotionlessly and charged with Senbon after Senbon at Naruto. Naruto simply deflected them. In that case, let me show how I fight, Naruto said, his body surrounded with a blue chakra and all soon focused on Mayuri, giving her an ethereal blue glow as he charged towards Haku. Seeing the severity of the attack, Haku used her most powerful ice jutsu. Hayatan, demonic mirrors, she called, myriad ice mirrors forming around her. Nice try, but Mayuri can cur through them easily, Naruto said, cutting a mirror as a sample which made Haku escape the mirrors. Naruto continued his charge. Ice crystals, she said, making ice crystals around her to protect her, and felt a hand on her shoulder, and saw Naruto's hand on her shoulder, and felt pain on her other shoulder, and felt pain as the tip of Mayuri is touching her shoulder. Yield, Naruto called only for Haku to smile and crumble into pieces of ice. Hayatan, ice dome of magnificent nothingness, she called from a distance, and Naruto saw ice mirrors forming around him. But this time they informed around him and looked thick. He can see Haku in each dome. Even his Sharingan couldn't find the difference between them and knew it was a well-played move. Now, Naruto-kun, let me show you why you shouldn't take me lightly, said Haku, her voice reverberating from all mirrors. Naruto readied Mayuri. 1,000 flying water needles of death, Haku called, sending thousands upon thousands of ice needles from each more and making Naruto try his best to not become a pin cushion. It went one like that. 3 days later. Team 7 trained well for 3 days, and Kakashi saw improvement in his students and decided to push them a bit further and started using high-level Genjutsu as a test. The most victimized member of the team is Sakura. Sasuke did fine. Kakashi noticed something when he used his Sharingan on the last Uchiha. His chakra coils seemed mature around his eyes, but Sasuke hadn't awakened his Sharingan yet. That seemed peculiar to him. Camera coils are like nerves in a normal body, but these are for chakra. They carry chakra throughout the user's body. That's why blocking even one is dangerous and why the Hyuga had developed their Juken, gentle fist, around it. From his experience, Kakashi knew when the chakra coils around the eyes are mature enough, the Sharingan awakens, or it may also happen as per the textbook, which is having something traumatic happen. That's when he remembered the whole massacre and what Itachi did. So Itachi forcefully suppressed his Sharingan then? Was a stray thought that made a lot of sense for Kakashi. It is the young Uchiha prodigy Itachi he is thinking about. For a teen who killed his entire clan, it's not much to suppress a Sharingan of a kid. But why is what interested him? Deciding to think of something light, he turned to his blonde student. Naruto's progress surprised Kakashi the most. He knew the blonde was the son of his late sensei. But he didn't expect this. Naruto didn't only have developed chakra coils around his eyes, but the level of their maturity and imagining the amount of chakra they can supply terrified Kakashi. Even having Sharingan all these years, his chakra coils were not that developed. He knew it because of the Kyuubi Naruto had that much, but he simply can't believe it and had to do a double take. And the next thing the unpredictable blonde did was to break his genjutsu like rice crackers. He became so good at breaking them that Kakashi had to resort to using a higher level once just to keep him locked and save some chakra. Overall, his team has become strong in these 3 days than in the last month or so they were together, and he was proud of it, and he is willing to help them if they keep up with their growth. "Are you ready, team?" he asked, turning to the almost prepared Team 7. "Yes, sensei," they chorused, and with an eye smile, he nodded. "Thanks for taking care of us, Tazuna-san, Tsunami-san. We will take our leave now," Kakashi said with an eye smile, and Tazuna and Tsunami smiled. "It's our pleasure to have you, Shinobi-san. Please come to our bridge opening. You are our guests for the opening," Tazuna asked with a bow. Kakashi knew he wouldn't relent and nodded. Though after seeing his students' progress, he promised himself to train them more and see where they go, and not waste time, especially Naruto and Sasuke. After seeing the boys show their excellent bravery during the first part of the mission, he can't let their potential go to waste. They all moved to the bridge, which was now fully constructed and ready to be used. Azai was standing at the entrance to start the ceremony. After making sure everyone was present, the young ruler of Nami started his opening speech. Kakashi can see Zabuza on a tree branch to the far right from the corner of his eyes. "I know I came out of nowhere and took charge, but I thank you from the bottom of my heart for accepting me as your daimyo. I promise to keep up with the expectations you have for me," Azai said with a bow, and everyone clapped. The bridge opening also served as the formal inaugural ceremony for the new daimyo and everyone's hope for a brighter future. "I decided on the future for Nami, which I would like to share with you all, but our bridge opening comes first. Tazuna, please open it." Azai called Tazuna the surprised bridge builder, but couldn't form words. Tazuna's eyes widened, and as he was faltering, Tsunami pushed him with a reassuring and proud smile, and he slowly walked up to the bridge and took the scissors, cutting the ribbon that was neatly tied to the sides of the entrance tearfully. Claps. Everyone clapped, seeing their future open up for them, and cheered in joy. "Thank you, Tazuna. What should we name the bridge?" someone from the crowd asked. "Since I'm the one who built it, it should be the Great Tazuna Bridge," the old man said with a boisterous laugh. Tsunami elbowed him, gesturing towards the son of their daimyo. "Apologies, Azai-sama. Tusan is a bit drunk." Tsunami apologized. Azai waved it off. "It's not a problem, but I do have a suggestion if you are willing to listen." He started, and everyone turned to him curiously. Since he came back, he did everything for the development of Nami, and they are willing to listen to him. "How about the Gongming Hope Bridge? It is built from the hope of one man for a better future," he suggested, and everyone looked at him in awe. "Yes, that would be perfect. Daimyo-sama is great. It's perfect. We can count on him." Everyone cheered and named the bridge the Gongming Hope Bridge. Team 7 was satisfied with the turn of events and left Nami with joy. All the members have different things to be happy about. Sasuke because of his increased chakra control and genjutsu breaking. Sakura for increasing her chakra control and reserves by a small margin, and Naruto had many things to be happy about. While the original is in Nami, a blood clone was sent in his place to Konoha. Kakashi was satisfied with their progress and the increased teamwork they are showing. "Maybe I should teach them more," he ideally thought as they moved towards Konoha. "Thank you for helping our country when we are in need, Shinobi-san," Azai said with a bow, and the rest of Nami's residents followed the daimyo and bowed to the 4 shinobi from Konoha. "We are happy to help," Kakashi said with a smile, his cheeks getting a tint of pink that no one could see. He is grateful for his mask. "We will take our leave. Thank you for your hospitality." Kakashi bowed, and with a final goodbye, Team 7 started their journey, first to cross the Gongming Hope Bridge. All Nami citizens also followed behind Azai as all of them crossed the bridge and entered the mainland of Hai no Kuni. Nami and her citizens clapped in joy while Team 7 waved their goodbyes and left to Konoha. After sending them off, Azai and Nami citizens returned to the island nation, crossing the bridge. As they settled, Azai started speaking. "Dear citizens, I have decided about the future of our country," Azai said, and all the chatter in the area stopped. Everyone paid close attention to their daimyo. "I'm going to appoint a committee which will oversee the daily activities of Nami and decided to train and develop our own security force. I will personally oversee this training. We are also going to explore our construction expertise and go into the long-term construction business," Azai said confidently, and the people of Nami were shocked by everything the young daimyo started speaking. "Let me explain in further detail how this will work and the plans I made after going through Gato's belongings," Azai said, and started explaining what he had planned for Nami. With Zabuza. On the other side of Nami, Zabuza with Haku and Naruto was waiting for the Umbu squad sent by the Mizukage eagerly in the case of the former, too curiously in case of the latter. "So you sent a clone with Kakashi?" Zabuza asked boredly. "Yeah, your training is more important than the journey back to Konoha," Naruto replied with a shrug. "You are one cheeky brat, you know that?" "Never heard sensei. You are the first to say that," Naruto said with a smile. His respect for Zabuza increased a lot in the last 3 days. "I didn't expect you to master all those katas this fast. If not for that, I would have handed you back to Kakashi myself." "Never bet with an Uzumaki," Naruto said with a taunting smile. "Didn't know that till now, brat. Do you think this will work? You will be allowed to Kiri?" Zabuza asked in a worried tone. The blonde had done so much for them, and he doesn't want to be pushed into a position to kill him. Not that he thinks he can. The brat is too sneaky for his own good. "What will they do? Take me hostage? Then they would see another side of me," Naruto said with a shrug, not caring for the danger Zabuza is hinting at. They saw a ship approach and went on high alert. Zabuza and Naruto are ready to draw their respective swords at moment's notice, and Haku performs one of her escape ice jutsu instantly. "Well, it seems they are here," said Naruto, which made Haku and Zabuza turn their heads to see a squad of Umbu with Kiri masks coming their way from the landed ship. They landed opposite Zabuza, and one of them took out a scroll and gave it to Zabuza. "Demon of Kiri, Zabuza Momochi, this is a letter from Mizukage-sama," he said, and Zabuza took it from him and read it and nodded. The letter said that it is the group the Mizukage sent and the order for him to return to Kiri back at once. He nodded and rolled it up. "Everything seems correct. Let's move," he said, and burnt the scroll. The group started to move but observed Naruto was following them and stopped at once. "Why is he still coming?" asked a pigeon-masked Umbu, presumably the leader. "Well, it is an agreement of ours. He is going to come with us to Kiri and meet the Mizukage with us to make sure that you are not imposters or trying to kill us as soon as we leave Nami's borders," Zabuza said with a shark-like grin, though it can't be seen because of the bandages covering his mouth. They thought about it for a second and asked a question. "What is your name, boy?" asked the same pigeon-masked Umbu. "Uzumaki Naruto, a pleasure to meet you, Umbu-san," Naruto said with a nod. The man was taken aback by Naruto's clan name, Uzumaki. It has not been heard for years. Except for the last Uzumaki they heard, they couldn't forget. He gulped and nodded. Uzumaki were not to be trifled with, and he is going to be careful around the brat. Though he may seem like a genin, he may be way stronger. "It will take us 5 days to go to Kiri. We are the nearest team available. So we were sent with the letter. The ship is on the shore. What happens in Kiri will be informed to you when we reach there," he said in a steel tone, and all of them nodded. They moved to the aforementioned ship, and after a successful boarding, it started to move. "In Nami. That's quite an elaborate plan, Azai-sama. Do you think we can do all this?" one of the countrymen asked doubtfully. "We can do anything as long as we believe in ourselves. So yes, I think we can. Who else believes we can?" Azai asked, looking at the mass of people. "I do, Azai-sama," came a voice from the back of the crowd, and everyone parted to reveal a small boy with a cap. "Inari," Tsunami gasped. "Yes, Ka-san. I'm sorry for being a brat all this time. I promise to work well for the future of Nami and make it prosperous and peaceful. Inari said with confidence, and soon more children started joining him. This made the adults ashamed of their lack of confidence and pushed them over the edge, and they also joined in Azai's plans for the future. On that day, with the New Hope Bridge as a witness, a new Nami was found, Azai standing at the helm of everything. His plan was very simple. First, they should capitalize on the equipment they had and use Gado's shipping company. Naruto already transferred them to his name, and it was changed to Azai after that. With the help of the well-established shipping business, they can use their next resource. Great builders. Nami has a great bridge and house builders, and once was a prosperous nation before the greed of the daimyo got the better of him and lost everything. Now Azai wants to revive the lost expertise and with the help of shipping companies, enter into the new markets with a package deal of shipping and construction. It not only benefits the company but also the citizens of the country as they get employment and work to do while also generating income for the company as it is the link between the two. Next was the huge bank balance Gado had. Though Naruto transferred most of it to his international bank account, he left enough money for Nami to recover and prosper. This is where the security force comes into effect. The security forces can not only protect the country internally but can also be used to escort some of their important members abroad for self-security. Naruto at least believes that though all of them can't use chakra, if he trained the younger generation well, they will have the basics mastered enough to defend a small group of shinobi. Though he doesn't want to start another shinobi village, the idea was certainly enticing. He would first train them in taijutsu and some basic chakra control exercises. At least that should be enough to defend themselves from a small group of thugs in addition to the swordsmanship. At least one sword will be given to elite members to allow them extra power to defend themselves. He also had a more lucrative plan for Nami's future. Make Nami a port country. As Nami is located closest to Kiri, which is a complete island nation which needs external imports, if he manages to play it correctly and make a daimyo agree with him, he will have a developed island country under him. With all his ambitions running in his mind, Azai oversaw the election of the committee a few hours after Team 7's and Zabuza's departure from the country. Unknown location. In an unknown location, 10 rainbow silhouettes can be seen standing in the middle of a dark cave, looking at each other. Their attires and faces are indistinguishable from the rainbow colors. "Report," called one of them, and another started replying. "Everything is normal in other nations, but changes are happening in Nami and Kiri," said a figure in two tones. While the former was cheerful and childlike, the latter was cold and serious. It was a figure distinguished by the two Venus flytrap-like extensions that emerged from their sides, enveloping their head and upper body as a shell, which they were able to open and close. "What's going in Nami?" asked the figure in a stern tone. "Change of regime. They got a new daimyo and Konoha had a hand in it," they said. "And in Kiri?" asked another figure to the other side, and they all looked up to him to see a tall man, his features unclear. "Looks like the new Mizukage agreed to Zabuza's return, and he was on his way as we speak." He spoke in a cheerful tone. "Zabuza-kun, huh? Well, it's been so long since I last saw him. Maybe I should visit my home," he said with a shark-like smile. "Not now. Is there anything to report?" the middleman asked, and the figure nodded in negative. "All of you continue on your current missions. No changes. Dismissed," said the now apparent leader, and all of them started disappearing. "Konoha doesn't like to keep for itself, eh?" said one of the figures from the other side, which made a set of impassive red eyes look at them neutrally. "Got angry?" he asked, but before he can hear the reply, he was gone. The figure didn't speak anything but simply disappeared from the cave with a lone thought. "How are you doing, Sasuke?" Chapter 8. Joint Exercise. Konoha. Team 7 had successfully reached Konoha, and Kakashi can be seen reporting to the Hokage after his team was dismissed upon reaching the village. "What happened, Kakashi?" Sandame asked, his eyes looking at the silver-haired Jounin. Firstly, the mission rank was mislabeled Hokage-sama. It was an A-rank mission which involved Zabuza Momochi of Kiri. "We had an encounter with him," started Kakashi. He went on to explain how his team dealt with Zabuza and how they found the real nature and decided to continue either way. Next, he explained the situation in Nami and his injury, his team's training and the removal of Gato. At this, his eyes turned serious. Nami got a new daimyo. His name is Azai. He is the son of the late daimyo of the country, and he was trained in Tetsu no Kuni by the samurais. Kakashi said, which perplexed Hiruzen. He heard many absurd stories, but to be trained by the honor-bound samurai takes the cake. He looked at Kakashi seriously at this. Yes, sir. That's what the daimyo claims, and since he got the approval of the people, I didn't take any action. He chose to form a committee to govern Nami, while he looks after a training academy. Kakashi explained. He left a shadow clone just in case and heard most of the plan, the daimyo's explanation to his country. Seeing nothing wrong, the clone dispelled, sending the knowledge to the original. That aside, anything else to report? Hiruzen asked, deciding to deal with this later. He knew what certain someone would do if they knew of this. My team. They have gotten better at teamwork and completed the tree climbing exercise. They also worked on breaking genjutsu and achieved good progress. For a second, Hiruzen felt he heard a hint of pride in the lazy Jounin's tone and smiled. That's great. And I have some clarification regarding Sasuke. Hiruzen nodded to continue. Looks like Itachi had suppressed Sasuke's Sharingan, sir, Kakashi reported. What do you mean? Hiruzen said in alarm, putting his pipe on the table in surprise. Sasuke's chakra coils around his eyes are well developed for the normal flow of chakra, so I came to this conclusion. And Naruto's chakra coils are also well developed. He added. Hiruzen nodded after a second of thinking. If that's all, you are dismissed. He dismissed and Kakashi vanished in a puff of smoke. Sasuke's was suppressed and Naruto's was well developed. Huh. What a peculiarity. I should visit. Hiruzen thought, smoking his pipe. With Naruto. While the original was with Zabuza and on his way to Kiri, the clone was busy organizing things and searching for the scroll his Tuchan set about. As instructed by his old man, the blood clone searched in the cabinet below the cooker in the kitchen. It has a blood seal hidden in all the patterns of the kitchen, and he pressed a few drops of blood on it. He can see the seal give a faint glow and open. With a puff of smoke, a large scroll appeared on the seal and Naruto took it. He opened it with another drop of blood. The scroll has many parts and everything is neatly separated and named just to be clear, and Naruto liked the way it was organized. Now show me what you have, Naruto thought, reading through all the headings, each having a scroll under it. Chakra control. Chakra improvement. Seals. Taijutsu. Ninjutsu. Elemental jutsu. Bukijutsu. Rasengan. Hiraishin. Advanced seals. Read all the headings. Naruto was more interested in the two words his father said. Rasengan and Hiraishin. He first opened the Rasengan scroll and started reading it. Rasengan, spiraling sphere, is an A-rank short-range offensive ninjutsu that I created after seeing the Bijudama, tailed beast ball. The Rasengan is a spinning ball of chakra formed and held in the palm, which is only known to two people right now. Me and Jiraiya-sensei started the scroll. Jiraiya? As if the Jiraiya of the legendary Sannin? Is he Tuchan's sensei? Then where is he? I didn't even see the man once, Naruto thought. Unknown to him, his thoughts turned dark halfway and he thought of many ways to take revenge on the man. But after a few calming breaths, he managed to suppress those negative emotions. So all the teamwork Konoha teaches is just a farce? Don't a sensei at least have a responsibility to see their student's son even once after said student's death? What kind of scum behavior is that? Naruto raged. Though he can't understand what the man loses if he just greets him once in that hellhole they called his orphanage, he knows it's not that easy. But he can't come to terms with that. Let's just read about the Rasengan for now. Naruto cooled himself and turned to the paragraphs explaining Rasengan. I spent 3 years creating the Rasengan, which I intend to be the highest form of shape transformation. Because it represents the high form of shape transformation, mastering the Rasengan helped me a lot in my shape transformation mastery. The Rasengan does not require hand seals to perform. Once it is formed, it also does not require any additional chakra to sustain it, which means that there is no definite limit to how long the Rasengan can be maintained. However, the Rasengan will dissipate if it collides with something, even if it's an unintended target. It's a one-handed jutsu as well. On contact, the Rasengan grinds into its target and propels it along the Rasengan's trajectory, causing severe damage at the point of contact. I intend to add my elemental chakra to it and make a wind and lightning Rasengans. That's why I consider this incomplete. I want to complete this. The explanation was over. Below it was neatly drawn steps on how to do a Rasengan and its vague shape. Naruto can see the spiraling ball with arrows showing the direction of its rotation. The Rasengan requires extremely refined chakra control, something that very few ninjas naturally possess. For this reason, the Rasengan is difficult to master. The Rasengan is broken into 3 steps to learn. It took me years to refine it into steps. Rotation first, we should learn to spin our chakra in multiple directions at once. To help in this regard, we can use a water balloon so that you can see your progress by the churning water. This step is complete once you can burst the balloon with your chakra. We need to know which direction our body naturally spins its chakra for this step, clockwise or counterclockwise. Power, we must increase the volume and density of chakra output. To help in this regard, you can use a rubber ball. There is no water inside to help burst the exterior and the rubber shell is thicker than a balloon's. As in the previous step, once the runner ball is burst with chakra can be marked as mastery over the second step. Containment, now we should combine the first 2 steps into a contained sphere. To help in this regard, you can use a balloon to help visualize the intended shape. If the balloon is popped or otherwise moves, mastery is not yet achieved. Completion of the final step is by far the most difficult. Took me months to finally master this step. Maybe I can find an alternative way to make this faster. It ended. Naruto moved to Bukijutsu to read as it has a special heading when he heard someone knock on his door. He quickly resealed the scroll and sealed it in the same blood seal and adjusted the cooker into the same spot. As the person was about to knock the second time, he was at the door, opening it. He opened to see Sandaime waiting for him. "Gigi, how are you?" Naruto asked, opening the door wide, allowing the old Hokage in. Hiruzen smiled at the familial recognition by the blonde and walked in. "I'm fine, Naruto. How are you? I heard your mission in Nami was a big success." Hiruzen asked as he sat in a chair in the lounge area. "Yeah, we learnt a lot and saved Nami. And the surprising thing is that Nami is getting a new daimyo, and he is just a few years older than me," Naruto explained, offering the Hokage water to drink. "Thanks, Naruto," Hiruzen said and gulped some much-needed water. Naruto observed the envelope in the Hokage's eye and rose an eye curiously. "So you observed. This is your mission payment. You did a great job, Naruto-kun," he said, patting the blonde's shoulder in appreciation. Naruto gave him a megawatt smile. "How does it feel going out of Konoha for the first time?" Hiruzen asked curiously. "I felt distant for some time, but after getting settled in Tezuna's house and the humid climate in Nami, I got adjusted," Naruto explained. Hiruzen nodded. "Adapting to our surroundings is one of the important skills to a shinobi, Naruto-kun," Hiruzen said with a wistful smile. "Did you complete those books I gave you?" he asked with interest, and Naruto eagerly nodded. "Long ago. They were done before I left for Nami and I practiced them to perfection there," Naruto explained, and Hiruzen's eyes widened. He didn't think Naruto would read books, much less the books on Fuinjutsu, and complete them this fast. They would normally take 6 months and he completed them in half time. "That's marvelous. How about you show me how well you mastered and I'll give you the intermediary level once," Hiruzen proposed. "How about I impress you with my mastery, and you give me both intermediate and advanced levels once?" Naruto bargained. Fair. If you manage to impress me, I'll give you both intermediate and advanced level ones." Hiruzen nodded. Naruto nodded in agreement. "Let's see. Show me what you can do with this small paper," Hiruzen said, handing Naruto a piece of sealing paper, and Naruto thought of different ways he can impress the old Hokage. Deciding to hide his full prowess and only use what was needed, he took the paper and started drawing seals on it and drew many common seals on the paper, filling it, not overlapping any of them. Hiruzen was impressed by the improvement in Naruto's strokes and the precision he was able to draw the seals with, and nodded in satisfaction. Guess I had to keep my promise, Hiruzen said, giving Naruto a small scroll which has the title of Sealing on it. There are some advanced things like chakra suppression and blood seals in them. Be careful with them. They are dangerous, Hiruzen said, and Naruto nodded with a big smile. Now let's go to Ichiraku and celebrate this, Hiruzen said, and Naruto bounced excitedly and moved to the ramen shop to eat. With a wistful smile, Hiruzen followed the bouncing blonde. Meanwhile, with Sasuke, the last Uchiha was training his best to beat that man. He has been pushing himself since he came back from Nami and repelled the useless attempts of his deadweight female teammate to ask him out. He didn't understand what was the deal with her. She acts as if she was the most intelligent in the class but was utterly useless when it came to defending that drunk bridge builder. But she also has small chakra reserves and was able to master the tree climbing exercise easily. He was at least satisfied with the fact that he had larger reserves than her. And his blonde teammate was a different matter entirely. Naruto, he knew his name has been acting very differently since they graduated. It's as if a switch was turned off. It's as if the goofiness and idiocy are just a ploy to get rid of that worthless thing they called a shinobi academy. After facing the harsh reality, that's what he can call it. Worthless, with all of them playing ninja. He can still remember the fear he felt when he faced Zabuza and he wasn't strongest at all, and then there is a matter of Kakashi having Sharingan, his clan's most revered Kekkei Genkai. All these only pushed him hard, and as he was remembering all the dark things that happened on that night, they pushed him to a breaking point and he can no longer bear them. He turned to the wooden dummy he was training with and an image of him replaced it. With all his frustration, rage and vengeance, he charged toward it, a kunai in his hand. All this is because of you, Itachi, Sasuke shouted to the heavens, charging the kunai with all his pent-up anger. The kunai hit the dummy's head at lightning speed. The head was severed and thrown off into the distance. As the flashes and adrenaline calmed down, Sasuke felt something different. He can see more clearly. He felt the strength leave his body and fell to one knee. What is this feeling? It was the same as that day. He thought in frustration in his head. He walked to the river to wash his face and get back to training, and after washing his face, he looked at his reflection to see his eyes. Instead of the trademark onyx of the Uchiha clan, his eyes were blood red with a small black dot and a tomo in each eye. Looking back at him, he couldn't believe it. I did it. I finally awakened my Sharingan. I finally awakened my Sharingan. Sasuke shouted like a madman with a grin that perfectly fits a madman. His hysterical laughter echoed through the empty streets of the Uchiha district. I am one step closer to killing you, Itachi, Sasuke shouted, elated that he was a step closer to getting his revenge. He hurried to his home, eager to read all the jutsu his clan had stored for him. Next day, after a day of rest, Team 7 met again at their meeting spot, all of them coming 3 hours late as per the usual schedule. As they met, in a puff of smoke, Kakashi appeared with his orange book in hand and the usual I smile. Yo! He greeted cheerfully, happy to meet his team after a successful mission. Hi, Sensei, they chorused. Today we are going to continue your team exercise, but this time with other teams. You will work with one of the other 3 Konoha rookie genin teams, 1 team a week. Kakashi explained, confusing his students. They knew only 9 passed in their class, and so when their sensei said there were another 3 teams, confused them. First team you will work with is Team 8, Kakashi said, and took them with him, not elaborating any further. Though the clone was confused, he didn't give a damn about anything the man said as he was busy revising all the things he learned about Rasengan and other Bokujutsu in his Tuchan scrolls. They soon reached a training ground, where Team 8 was waiting for them. They knew all the faces and Naruto happily waved at them. It's Naruto's team, Shino, Kiba said in a boisterous tone, his pup, Akamaru barking in agreement. Naruto-kun's team? I didn't see them in a while, the blue-haired meek girl thought nervously. Why are Naruto-san and Sasuke-san different? And what are those chakra levels? Shino Aburame, a recluse boy, thought in alarm. He always measured everyone's chakra in his class with his Kikeichu, a special species of an insect used by members of his clan. They resemble small, flight-capable beetles. After graduation, Naruto's chakra changed, as if a weird mix was included in the mix, and now the change is simply alarming. It's as if a large lake compared to the small bucket of water he has. Though he didn't feel any jealousy towards the blonde, the change was not in any calculations he made and changed everything he had planned in case of any emergency. Sasuke's, on the other hand, was brighter and got a bit larger compared to the last time he checked, and the thing both of them had in common was a mysterious tint in them. Shino, despite all these conclusions, maintained his stoic face, but when Naruto's gaze turned to him, he felt a bead of sweat appear on his face. The look was common to anyone. It was casual, as if scanning surroundings, but to someone who understood and mastered the art of being ambiguous, Shino can see the knowing smirk the look had. Naruto knew what the small beetle that landed on him did, but he didn't intervene as he knew how Shino is, but decided to let him know he knew. Kakashi, it's good to see you taking your team seriously, Kurenai Yuhi, Team 8 Sensei said with a cheerful smile. Kurenai is a fair-skinned, beautiful young woman of slender build in her 20s. She has long black untamed hair reaching her upper back, and very unique eyes that are red, with an additional ring in them, closely resembling a Sharingan. She wears makeup consisting of red lipstick and purple eyeshadow. Her regular outfit consists of a red mesh armor blouse with only the right sleeve visible. Overall, this is a very broad material which resembles bandages with a pattern on it similar to those of rose thorns. Her hands and upper thighs are also wrapped in bandages, and she wears the Konoha forehead protector and regular shinobi sandals. Can't say I can take all the credit, Kakashi said, still reading his orange book. Though Kurenai gave him a frustrated look, she didn't comment on it. Team, greet Team 7. She asked her, and Team and everyone introduced themselves officially. Team 7 followed suit, not waiting for their sensei's order. We are glad to be with you, Naruto said, bowing to Team 8 in respect, which made Hinata blush, Kiba laugh, and Shino and Kurenai raise eyebrows. Heh, look at that Akamaru. Naruto is bowing like a well-mannered idiot. Kiba laughed, Akamaru barking in agreement from his hood. Thanks, Naruto. Let's start the exercise. You are going to spar with my team, and we are going to do a couple of D-rank missions together. Kurenai, Kakashi paying no mind and happily reading his porn, cough, literature. Wait a minute, didn't you go on an A-rank mission? Kiba yelled in accusation, pointing a finger at the relaxed Team 7. What of it, Mutt? Sasuke asked, speaking for the first time since they arrived. Kiba always lost to Sasuke during their sparring matches in the academy, and so he feels jealous of the Uchiha every time but gets annoyed whenever the same emo speaks, as if he is special. Sasuke, on the other hand, is itching to show off his new dojutsu, and this Mutt is just delaying it, which he didn't like. But he also wants to brag about the mission as well. The mission only proves his superiority as an elite, and so he is fine with talking about it. Shut it, team. Who asked you? Kiba growled, taking a step towards Sasuke. The rest of the two teams just looked, unable to do anything in case of Hinata and Sakura, and not interested in doing anything in case of Shino and Naruto. But Kurenai had enough, as she wanted a peaceful joint exercise. She moved between the two teens with an angry face, as if daring them to make a move. Quite. If you want to fight that badly, then spar. Kakashi, take care of this. Rest of you with me. She ordered, and Kiba and Sasuke ready to spar while others went with Kurenai. Ma, you shouldn't be like that. But anyway, the same rules as other spars apply. No killing, and if the opponent yields, you win. Kakashi said, not taking his eyes off his book. The Sandaime decided to engrave that killing is part of their life, and so instructed his jounins to bring killing in every spar just to make their teams desensitized to the word and killing after that. Everyone noticed the mention of killing by Kakashi, which made Sakura gasp and Hinata shudder, while Naruto remembered his first kill and Shino's sweat dropped. Sasuke and Kiba, on the other hand, are in no mood to listen and eagerly waited for the spar to begin. Kurenai felt unhappy about using that word but remained silent. Hajime! Kakashi called, and Kiba and Sasuke charged toward each other. Akamaru standing to the side. They started with taijutsu and started punching and kicking each other. With Kurenai brought the remaining members a few meters away and started instructing. While they two spar, I will train you in chakra control and Jinjutsu. You can ask any questions if you have doubts. She explained and all of them nodded. Are you all familiar with the tree climbing exercise? She asked and all four nodded in agreement. Show me how well you can do them and I'll teach you the next stage. She ordered and one by one, Shino, Sakura, Hinata and Naruto showed tree climbing and Kurenai tested them by shaking the trees and attacking them with kunai. After getting satisfied with their mastery, she started explaining the next stage. The next step to control your chakra is water walking. She said, walking on water, showing how it is done and explaining the theory behind it. Now start practicing it and be careful for the first few times. You may slip. Kurenai instructed and all of them sprang into action. Even though Naruto, Hinata, and Shino knew about the exercise, they followed without question and as expected, Sakura drowned after a few steps. Naruto did it blindly, keeping an eye on the sparring match between Sasuke and Kiba while Shino and Hinata did it as they don't want to disturb others. With Kakashi. As soon as he began the match, Sasuke and Kiba hit it hard. They exchanged rapid blows with their fists and legs and tried to throw each other. Kiba, being physically stronger than Sasuke, got a good grasp. But Sasuke was faster than Kiba and so he managed to land some critical blows when he was caught, thus releasing himself. Damn it, that bastard is good. Are you ready, Akamaru? Kiba asked and the white pup barked in agreement and with a puff of smoke, changed into a clone of Kiba. Beast human clone, Kiba said as Akamaru transformed into his clone. They stood in a front and back position and soon started rotating. The rotation took speed as it continued and as it reached a high speed, it took off into the air. Katsuga, Fong over Fong, said Kiba's voice, charging towards Sasuke at high speeds. This is a special jutsu of an Inuzuka and their Ninken companion where they rotate their bodies and deliver a series of rapid body blows to a target. To coordinate their attacks, thus ensuring targets have no opportunity to defend themselves, Inuzuka and their Ninken synchronize with each other as much as they can, breathing in unison, using the four legs technique, using the beast human clone. Sasuke knew he couldn't let it hit him and so he used the best thing he could to escape the charge. His hands performing a rapid set of hand seals. Katon. Hinden, fire style. Flying flame bullet, Sasuke said, gulping large amounts of air and releasing it as Kiba approached him, directly towards the spiraling fangs. Kiba felt the heat before the fire touched him and at the speed he was moving, he can't dodge it and so he faced it head-on. Sasuke, seeing the attack hit, cut the fire, thus stopping Kiba from getting severe burns. As he was half burnt, Kiba yielded and Sasuke won the match. Sasuke got a smug look at that. His new jutsu worked. He can now learn more jutsu from the scrolls. Kakashi raised an eyebrow at the new attack. He didn't know Sasuke knew anything other than fireball jutsu as it is the Uchiha rite of passage. Maybe Sasuke did know and he didn't pay attention? With that concussion, he declared the Uchiha the winner. Sasuke and Kiba joined to train with Kurenai after applying a burn-healing ointment to Kiba. The exercise continued, Sasuke eagerly learning everything Kurenai was teaching. Chapter 9. Kiri. 6 days later, Kiri. After 6 days of uneventful voyage from Nami, Naruto with Zabuza and Haku reached Kiri. Much to its name, the village was hidden by a thick layer of mist, which made navigating difficult if an expert who has adept knowledge of the weather and conditions of the sea is not with them. Fortunately, they got a good navigator on board and so they reached the village without much problem, weaving through the treacherous waterways surrounding the village. Overall, the journey was uneventful but because of the winds and bad weather, it was delayed by a day, which Naruto didn't mind as this gave him extra time to train with Zabuza. Aside from that, he also talked with the crew about the ship, here and there with others. The Umbu didn't grant him much access to the whole ship as he is a foreign shinobi. He was given access to the deck, outside area, his room and his companions' rooms. Not even to the main engine room or to the captain's room. They took him seriously after hearing his clan name. Haku is a great girl to be around as she is curious enough to ask him everything about his life, career and general things. As she was raised on the run, she is very interested and excited to reach Kiri, and for the last 2 days of their journey, she spent every second on the outer deck, waiting to get the first glimpse of Kiri. Naruto also shared as much as he could about his academy life and his graduation failures. She sympathized with him on that, as she is a hard worker as well. Though important details like how many students were trained in a class and what jutsu was taught were tactfully avoided by the blonde, Haku didn't press on them as she knew about village secrets and general shinobi code. She also opened up about her childhood and her Kekkei Genkai. Naruto was surprised to see her ice, creating cold air and particles in front of him. It was natural ice, and all the things she could do with her ice were amazing. Zabuza, being the serious slave driver he is, pushed Naruto to his limits every day in his training, and his training only intensified in the last 2 days, as after reaching Kiri they are going to separate. They both had a few sword battle sessions together in the arena on the ship, which was used during the war, and Naruto found later that it's a battleship which is used by Kiri, and understood the Umbu's caution to not allow him everywhere. Zabuza taught him some techniques about how to be in the perfect stance and quickly draw and read an opponent's body movement in a sword battle. Is the opponent trying to slash, cut, party, or strike, and such? Umbu insisted that he don't teach Naruto, but the man didn't care. He told them Naruto is a pretty skilled swordsman and the teaching is a part of their agreement, which effectively shut their mouth. They didn't question it after that. They seemed to take this whole contract thing seriously. Though teaching Naruto about swords is not in the agreement, Zabuza made a small change in it and taught anyway. Naruto shrugged it off. Who is he to see a gift horse in the mouth? He took it in stride, and his sword skills improved greatly after those sessions. No doubt the man is a powerful swordsman to be one of the 7 swordsmen of Kiri. He had enough experience with his sword to lift and swing it around like a piece of paper while it was more than 100 kilos. After they landed, Naruto's focus shifted to the village. He observed many differences from Konoha, though the most striking one was the weather, which is humid while Konoha is both warm and cool. The architecture and building style of the village is also a stark contrast to Konoha. While they built homes with predominantly wood and some stone, homes here are completely made of stone. Naruto can also see a lot of construction going on in and around the village. Many buildings were either half-constructed on going through final touches. When did the civil war end? Naruto asked curiously, trying to poke through the serious facade of the Umbu to see if they are willing to tell him something. It's been a few months. More than that, you are getting nothing, the leader said in a stern tone. They are trying to take the blonde straight to the Mizukichi Tower, but due to all the construction and other works going on, including repairs to some important buildings, they couldn't get there faster. Naruto mulled over the little info the man gave and started to pay attention to the people and shinobi around them. He got quite a crowd, and while most of them were civilians, he can see shinobi as well. Seeing their entourage, some were curious while many were happy, and Naruto can see the few who are angry as well. Interesting people and shinobi. They seem to have different styles of kunai and weapon designs when compared to Konoha, though, he thought. He observed how everything had a camouflage theme in some parts, and the kunai and shuriken he can see had the kunai blade curving inward, making the point sharper and more suited for stabbing or thrusting. He also saw similar kunai and shuriken with Haku and Zabuza as well. He didn't pay attention to them then, but now he can't help but analyze them. In his thoughts, he almost missed the Shinobi Academy of the village, but Haku was very excited and she pointed to it cheerfully. Naruto-kun, look, Shinobi Academy. Isn't it beautiful? She asked in excitement. Though Naruto felt the Umbu move in discomfort, he didn't say anything to object to them. Naruto looked at what she is pointing at and nodded, sharing a few words about how it compared to Konoha's, and Haku continued pointing to different things she found interesting, and the rest of the journey was completed in it. Soon they reached a large building in the middle of the village. It is impressive with its imposing visage, befitting a Kage tower. Naruto easily knew the building is one of the largest buildings in the village, located in the heart of it. The building has the kanji for water, soi, on the front of it, similar to the kanji for fire, hua, on the Hokage Tower, but the tower itself is different. Instead of the cone-shaped one in Konoha, this is a sturdy round white marble one. It has extensions to other buildings like the Hokage Tower with a different architecture, and Naruto can see different messenger birds and shinobi running around the building, performing their duties. This way, the lead Umbu said as they reached the Mizukage Tower, and they walked in with a bit of tension when they reached the heart of the village, and Zabuza was still not sure of everything. The Umbu escorting them inside the building and dispersed into different corners of the tower, and the three of them can feel many dozens of eyes boring towards them. They knew they were not the kind type and went on guard. Relax everyone, these are our own now. It's been long, Kiri no Oni Zabuza. A woman from the front desk said. Zabuza gave a small nod in acknowledgement as she opened the Mizukage office door, and all of them walked in, still on guard. How many times should I say you shouldn't allow things like this casually, Mizukage-sama? A middle-aged man said grumpily. Three of them looked up in confusion and came face to face with a weird bunch. A woman and two men are on her sides. First, the woman in the middle. She is tall and slender with fair skin. She has green eyes, long auburn hair styled into a herringbone pattern at the back, a top knot tied with a dark blue band, and 4 bangs at the front. 2 bangs are short, with one covering her right eye, and 2 are long, crossing each other on her bust, just below her chin. The elegance will fit perfectly for her as she looks like she is in her 20s. She wore a long-sleeved, dark blue dress that fell just below the knees. It seems to be closed at the front with a zipper and is kept open on the front right side from the waist down. The dress only covers up to the upper part of her arms and the underside of her breasts. Underneath, she wears a mesh armor that covers slightly more of her upper body than her dress. She also wears a skirt in the same color as her dress and, underneath those, mesh leggings reaching down over her knees. Around her waist, she wears a belt with a pouch attached to the back on the left along with high-heeled sandals, shin guards reaching up over her knees, dark blue nail polish on her fingers and toes, and usually shown red lipstick. The 2 men beside her are in contrast to each other, while the man on the right is middle-aged with blue hair which is styled in a moused-up manner. His left eye was blue and his right eye was covered with a black eye patch. He wore a talisman in each ear with the kanji 4, chung, sho, which was written on them twice on each side. He also wore the standard striped, gray suit, with a green haori that had white trimmings that stop halfway down, over them. Naruto can say he is very experienced in combat as his posture didn't have gaps to attack. While the other one is a young man, maybe 2 to 3 older than him. He has short, tufty blue hair, and dark eyes. He also has pointed, shark-like teeth, a common trait of the members of the 7 ninja swordsmen, much like Zabuza and War Square. Black-rimmed glasses connected to ear protectors, a blue pinstriped shirt and camouflage pattern pants. He wears his forehead protector on the front of his holster, which has a weird-looking sword in it. The sword itself is wrapped in bandages, leaving only the double hilt visible. He also has shuriken holsters strapped onto each of his legs. He looked more inexperienced compared to the other man, but Naruto got a feeling that he is strong and kept his observations to himself. The Umbu who brought them appeared in the middle of the office. The office itself is good, well decorated rather neatly with a blue rug and several cabinets lining both sides of the room. The Mizukage's desk sits at the back of the room, overlooking the village. The front of the desk is adorned with the village's symbol. The room also possesses a small waiting area with a picture of the world map above it. Naruto can see all the regular things that his Gigi has in his office and checked all boxes, certifying the Mizukage's office in his boredom. Mizukage-sama, Momochi Zabuza is here with his accomplice, the Umbu leader said respectfully, interrupting the argument between the trio. What? When? Sorry, came the varied reactions from the trio, and all of them looked up. Naruto looked at them amused. They are contradictory in contrast to each other. It's hurting him not to laugh. Why are you apologizing, boy? The middle-aged man turned to the younger in displeasure. That's why I suggested picking older men. You shouldn't have picked people of young age, Mizukage-sama. Back in my day, it used dash. Old, age, Mizukage are the only words the Mizukage heard, and turned to the middle-aged man, giving chills to Naruto and Zabuza. Ao, shut up or I'll kill you, she said with a serious tone, and Ao instantly shut up. Oh my, where are my manners? Please take a seat, everyone. We have some things to discuss, she said with a sweet smile, and the 3 of them followed robotically, not wanting to anger the woman. I'm Terumi Mei, Godame Mizukage of Kirigakure no Sato. A pleasure to meet you, she said with a pleasant smile. This is Ao-san and Chojuro-kun, my aides. She introduced the two and they both gave a nod of acknowledgement, though Ao gave it reluctantly. Momochi Zabuza, Zabuza introduced, following the unsaid order. Yuki Haku, Haki followed with a respectful bow to the Mizukage, making the OL sweet woman smile. Yo, Uzumaki Naruto from Konoha at your service, Naruto said with an elegant bow, wiggling his eyebrows at them. Naruto felt like being watched and saw how the veins around Ao's eyes bulged and narrowed his eyes. Byakugan? Only those eyes have this effect and signs. He stole it then, He started thinking of many scenarios where such a thing could be possible. For Ao, it's like standing in front of the sun. The amount of chakra Naruto dwarfed everyone in the room and his eye couldn't focus on anything. Uzumaki? And what is with such vast chakra reserves? What is with this kid? Even for an Uzumaki, he seems to have a lot of chakra. Is he one of them? He thought, deactivating his Byakugan, as he didn't want to get blinded by the chakra's sheer quantity. While Ao and Naruto are thinking in their worlds, Mei stared at Naruto curiously. She is now more interested after the mention of Uzumaki. He is young and looks good, and is charming. If only she cowl. Mizukage-sama, we should ask him about his business first. Ao as always interrupted. Naruto knew two Umbu were watching him particularly and one wrong move can spoil everything. He wanted to get rid of the Umbu, but he couldn't as he a foreign shinobi and he knew of the protocol. He is not in Kiri on an official mission but of his own volition. So, he is an unknown variable that can spark a war with one mistake, and for a recovering village like Kiri, they can't afford to make any more mistakes. Yes, Naruto-kun. Can you elaborate on your purpose here and how you encountered our estranged shinobi? She asked in a sweet tone. Naruto was curious about the nickname the Mizukage called him, but answered. It all started in Nami-Naruto started and explained everything that happened till now, leaving out important parts or things they don't need to know. So that's how I found your letter for Gato and delivered it to Zabuza here. Naruto explained, and it took them a minute to take everything in. And why did you follow them here? Ao asked suspiciously. It's an agreement, as I said, as I want to make sure they will be safe, he said with a shrug. And how are you going to leave knowing they will be safe? Chojuro asked curiously, talking for the first time. I want to take the Mizukage's word for that. I want Mizukage-sama to promise their safety, he said confidently, and Chojuro looked around for help. Naruto stared into Mei's eyes, unflinching. Don't worry about that, Naruto-kun. I assure you they will be safe here and will be immediately drafted into active duty, she said with a cheerful smile, signing the paper and giving Zabuza and Haku new headbands. Thank you, Mizukage-sama, Haku said with emotion, bowing to the Mizukage, who patted her with a smile. She always wanted to serve her country and help her people. We need shinobi like you, my dear. No need to thank me, she said and turned to Zabuza. I am very happy to have you back, Zabuza, Mei said in a sweet tone, but her eyes turned dark at the end. Yeah, I'm happy to come back as well, Mizukage-sama. It is a big surprise to know that Yagura was killed. I didn't think it was possible. But we are here, he said sadly, remembering his old friend. I must agree that it is a bad thing to lose our Mizukage, but for the people of Kiri it must be done. We can't have the war continue anymore, she said in a somber tone. For a second, Naruto thought her face was darkened, but she managed it easily. Ao cleared his throat, clearly signaling something for the Mizukage, and she turned to him. Speaking of rewards, I must thank you for this help to Kiri, Naruto-kun. What can Kiri offer you? Mei asked, and Naruto can feel all eyes in the room are on him. Naruto for some reason felt she pushed her bosom, trying to make them noticeable, though he struck it off as his paranoia. I'm here just for my friends. If they are safe here, that's enough for me, Naruto said with sincerity. Though it was ridiculous for most to believe, it's what he was here for and he already had what he came for. Such an honest young man. I hope Kiri has people like you. Mei was with a wide smile. Though she wanted to, personally, gift the young Konoha shinobi, it looks like she doesn't get the chance. She stood from her desk and made some hand signs and pressed on the inner chamber of her desk, and with a large puff of smoke, a large old scroll came into existence. "Though you don't want anything in return, I would like to give you this scroll," she said, giving Naruto a scroll which has kanji for danger on it and red swirl symbols on either side of the scroll. "That is the most prized scroll that Kiri possesses. I don't know what it has, but as it was written danger and it has Uzumaki clan symbols on it, it must have been stolen by our people, or it's just a bluff, as Uzumaki were assumed to be completely wiped off and no one can open it. I want you to have the scroll as a thank you and an apology for what my village has done to your village. I hope we can start anew and hold no grudges," she said hopefully with a lone eye, sincerely looking at him for forgiveness and hope for the future. Even though she is a Kage, she is a woman who lost her parents and brethren to war and knows how it feels like to lose everything you have in a war, so she can relate to Naruto to some extent. "Thank you for your straightforwardness, Mizukage-sama. I accept your apology and thank you for giving this to me," Naruto said, mimicking the sincerity. Mei smiled internally. Such a sweet and well-mannered boy. Unfortunately, he is from Konoha, she thought and smiled. "My business in Kiri concludes with this. With your permission, I'll take my leave," Naruto asked respectfully, and Mei nodded her approval. "I'll ask one of our best ships to drop you in Hai no Kuni. Chijiro-kun, if you can. Please drop Naruto-kun at the docks." "Hi, Mizukage-sama. I'll be on it," Chijiro said and walked towards Naruto. He said to follow him and Naruto followed. Naruto left the office and Ao relaxed a bit after that. He can't believe the amount of chakra the blonde genin has even for an Uzumaki, and decided to keep an eye on him. "So Zabuza, can you report what else you did in these past years, and where are those two lackeys?" Mei asked, and Zabuza stood straight and started explaining. "In Konoha." "What a drag," a pineapple-haired teen said as he walked with his team towards the meeting spot with Team 7. Their exercise with Team 9, a team of 3 teens a year older than them, had been completed, and he didn't want to talk about them. Simply too troublesome for him. "Damn it, Tuchan. Why is this exercise now of all times?" he mumbled as he lazily walked behind his team. Their exercise and mission went well, but Team 9 is too active for his likes, and though he did his part, he couldn't find a proper balance in the team. As a member of the clan of great strategists, he can easily see the devotion Lee had for Guy-sensei and their determination and all. But the youthful spirit they had is not shared in the team. Sure, they have great teamwork and are power-ups with taijutsu, bokujutsu and weapons experts, and Hyuga with a great Byakugan. But he can see the imbalance in the team. Lee has no chakra, for example, and if he is caught in a genjutsu, it will be very difficult for him to escape. But then the memory that scarred his team came to his mind. "That thing is plain blasphemy. You can't forget it once you see it," he grumbled, remembering the youthful moment Guy and Lee shared. Maybe that's their counter to genjutsu, a stronger genjutsu than the one used. That's a good strategy. Then comes Tenten. She has good at taijutsu and weapons mastery, but she can't use any weapon to its fullest capacity. She can throw them around and know the basics, but if she fought against a wind user, she is done for, as all her weapons become useless and can easily be deflected with wind. The Hyuga boy is too good, but his attitude and perception need some repairs. Overall, they are good and have the potential to become a great team for Konoha. "Ino!" He heard a girlish scream and saw Sakura coming toward the blonde girl in his team. They started talking after that. He didn't pay any attention to them. He is more focused on the other members of Team 7. Naruto and Sasuke. They look different. He heard about their team exercise with Team 8 and how resoundingly successful it was. He knew these exercises are introduced to let them know each other more and work as a perfect team. His father is the Jounin commander after all. Though the man hid important things, he would occasionally ask him about things and allow him to connect dots. Naruto seems more composed, and Sasuke is looking at them with a wide grin, as this would help him in more than one way. Their sensei? He looked around for the silver-haired man and found him on a tree branch far from the team, watching the interaction with his lone eye. "Asuma-sensei, what are we doing here?" Choji, his food-loving friend, asked with a confused expression. Did she forget to inform him? Shikamaru sighed. They told Ino to inform Choji about today's drill, and looks like the Yamanaka heiress forgot it. The said girl is currently looking at the duck-but-haired Uchiha with admiration and giggling with Sakura as if it's an inside joke. Troublesome, aren't they? Naruto asked, standing beside him while their smoking sensei started to explain the week schedule to Choji. Yeah, it's a drag. Heard you went on an A rank out of the village. How was it? He asked with his lazy eyes, boring into the blonde's ceruleance. It went well, and we met some interesting people there. Except for the appearance of Zabuza, there is nothing special after it. Running into an A-rank missing ninja is not special? Shikamaru asked, his eyes taking a sharp edge. From a combat point of view, yes. Sensei and he fought and we managed to injure him. He retreated, playing dead, and suddenly had a change of heart, Naruto said. Shikamaru analyzed. Sure, running into an A-rank nuke is troublesome, but what Naruto said has merit. If they only ran into him and fought once and were done with it, then it's a smooth one. The most interesting part is the appointment of the new daimyo to Nami. He is just a few years older than us, Naruto said in a low tone as if it was a world-ending conspiracy. Ino noticed the lack of troublesome comments and turned to the two boys whispering, and the gossip queen in her couldn't resist the temptation to know, and she slowly walked towards them. Sakura was surprised by the sudden change in the platinum blonde and looked where she was going and watched intensely. The Uchiha, on the other hand, is fed up. How long are they going to take to start the damn exercise? He didn't let his impatience appear but patiently waited. His patience has awakened his Sharingan for him, and so he is willing to wait now. Though anything major but learning the tree climbing exercise and some genjutsu happened during the Nami mission, he is satisfied with his growth, and after awakening his Sharingan, he is willing to wait and make his move. Maybe Naruto's personality is rubbing off on him. The blonde doesn't make any unnecessary moves, nor does he waste any time with them playing shinobi, but learns patiently, and when done, he practices them separately. Sasuke liked it a lot as it helped him get rid of his useless pink-haired teammate bothering him. She started to take things seriously and practiced more than talking these days. If there is something he wants to learn after killing Itachi is to have the same patience as Naruto, and he is going to be better at that. After all, he is an Uchiha, the elite. He also noticed the blonde fangirl giggling and continued to stare aimlessly to not encourage her. That's when he saw the pineapple-haired boy. Nara Shikamaru, son of Nara Shikaku. Maybe he can be useful to me, he thought, staring at the black-haired boy. So we are doing an exercise again? And with Naruto's team. Choji's sudden outburst brought all the genin back to the point. Yes, Choji. It's like last week, but this time I think it will be more peaceful, Asuma said, taking a puff out of his cigar. What do you specialize in, Asuma-sensei? Sakura asked curiously. Last week was a productive one for her. Kurenai-sensei was very good at genjutsu and taught them about genjutsu theory and practice well. She even put them in many genjutsu to give them a good feel. While Team 8 was trained in teamwork and coordination by Kakashi. The conversation between Kakashi's dogs and Kiba was very hilarious to forget. Flashback begin. It's their fourth day, and both Team 7 and 8 were already accustomed to the exercise by now and are doing well in their group missions. Today was a practice session for Team 7 in Genjutsu with Kurenai, while Team 8 will be taught about teamwork by Kakashi. As usual, Team 7 arrived in time as Kurenai-sensei was punctual. Shino and Hinata arrived as well. Kiba was accustomed to Kakashi's time and came a bit late. As soon as Kakashi arrived, he put his book to the side, which came as a surprise to both teams and Kurenai, and he turned to Team 8 seriously. You are going to fight against my Ninken now. You are going to beat them in teamwork, he said, and started performing a chain of hand seals. Naruto activated his Sharingan and quickly copied them. They are similar to his dragon summoning ones, except for one seal at the end. Kuchios no Jutsu, Kakashi said, and in a puff of smoke, various Ninken came into existence. This is Pakin, Kakashi said, introducing a small, pug-like dog with brown fur and a dark brown snout and ears. He has pink-colored paws and wears a blue vest with the Hino Hino Moheiji seal and a Konoha forehead protector, but his is worn on top of his head in a similar style to Sakura. He also wears a bandage on his right front leg. Yo, Pakin said, waving his paw at them. Here is Bull, Kakashi said, pointing to the largest summon in Kakashi's Ninken pack. Bull has dark fur and wears a spiked collar. He also wears a similar attire to Pakin, which is a standard for his summons. Lastly, this is Urushi, he said, introducing the white and light brown fur, along with long spiky tufts of hair on his head. His eyes greatly resemble angry eyes. His Konoha forehead protector around his neck with the same outfit. You will fight against these three in a spar. It's about teamwork, and I want you six to retrieve a small flag I planted a few kilometers southwest from here, Kakashi said seriously and looked at the sun. And go, he said with a chop of his hand, and Team 8 and Ninken all sprang into action. The exercise was hilarious to watch, to put it simply. Naruto can't forget Kiba's stupidity after that. Akamaru kept barking at the dogs. As if to distract them, Kiba tried calming him, while Shino and Hinata tried their best to track the flag Kakashi hid. Pakin was able to detect it with his powerful nose, and Kiba called it unfair. Instead of Kakashi, Pakin started lecturing Kiba and Akamaru about the senses of a dog and how to use them while tracking, while the Inuzuka boys stared in shock. He went on and on, which stopped Kiba from moving forward while Hinata and Shino separated to search for it. Pakin intelligently sat on Bull, who carried him. Kiba, who was completely distracted and immersed in Pakin's lecture, bumped into many trees and traps Kakashi laid and fell into many mud pools, got hit with stink bombs, and finally got dragged into a pit by the small pug. At last, Shino and Hinata finally found the flag and brought it, avoiding a cleverly hidden trap by Urushi, as Hinata's Byakugan showed it as clear as day. When she tried looking at Naruto, she was overwhelmed by the brightness of the chakra, and when she tried to focus, she fell unconscious due to overexertion. Shino managed to catch her before she fell and brought her back to the starting point. Kiba soon followed, covered with dirt, slime, and stinking very badly. What did you learn from this exercise? Kakashi asked, visibly bothered by Kiba. We should always concentrate on the mission and shouldn't get distracted. Shino in a monotone, though it has some cracks in it. Hinata wasn't conscious to answer. Never follow a dog blindly, Kiba said intelligently with a burst of barking laughter as his stink affected him greatly. Guess you are dismissed for today, Kakashi said, no longer able to keep up. I didn't think they were this stinky, he thought mentally, thinking of trying them on a youthful friend of his. Naruto was very much amused by it, and the answer Kiba gave at the end only made it worth watching. Poor guy got affected by the disgusting smell, so bad smells affect him. Good to know, he thought, and went back to his concentration exercise. Flashback end. I am good at smoking and some wind jutsu, Asuma said with a smile. Ino glared at him at that. I mean, I'm good at wind jutsu and taijutsu, he rectified and got an approving nod from the platinum blonde. Well, I'm good at laziness, so do some chakra control exercises, Kakashi said with a shooing gesture and walked to a tree shade. What? This is what we get when the billboard brow is getting trained by our sensei. Ino yelled in a pitch that made Sakura proud and angry at the same time. UPIG, Sakura replied in kind. We are going to see if you have any elemental affinities, Asuma said, making Pinket's head turn in a robotic manner. Let's see what you got, Asuma said with a smirk and pulled out 3 thick papers. It's not fair. We didn't get that. Ino yelled again but got ignored. Team 7 was focused on the paper in the smoking man's hands. What should I train them in? They are good at teamwork as it's carried down from generations. They are this generation's Ino Shikacho team, and I should teach them something useful. Kakashi went into deep thought, remembering anything that can help the trio. Chapter 10. Affinities. Inkiri. So Chojuro, is it? How old are you? Naruto asked curiously as they continued to walk through the bustling village. I'm 17, he said tentatively. Relax, bro. I'm not going to eat you, Naruto said casually and got a small nod from the blue-haired swordsman. I want to thank you, Chojuro said meekly. If not for his good hearing, Naruto would have missed it. For what? For bringing back Zabuza-san and Kubikurabocho to the village. And for generally being a nice person. Chojuro blurted the last part. Naruto smiled at the meek boy. Nah, bro. They felt genuine to me and didn't know the civil war was over. I just delivered the news to them, that's it. And Mizuki-sama is considerate. He explained, and Chojuro's respect for Naruto increased. So what is that sword on your back? It is different. Naruto asked, and Chojuro smiled at him. This is Hiramakarei, one of the 7 swords, Chojuro said in a hushed tone. Naruto followed suit and asked in a hushed tone. Can I see it? He asked with gleaming eyes. Chojuro gave him a wide smile with a nod. They cut into a small side alley to see the sword, and Chojuro took it from his back and undid the bandages. The sword, Hiramakarei, features a wide, flat blade with 2 curved indentations near its base, creating a sort of crossguard. 2 handles are connected by a short length of cord, making it a twin sword, Songdal, Soto. The overall sword looks like a flounder fish in shape. Naruto touched, and the weight of the sword is not normal. Though not as heavy as Zabuza's, Hiramakarei also has a good weight to it, and sending his chakra through it, Naruto understood how the sword works. One of the benefits of the ritual is his sensitivity to chakra. He can feel things now if he sends his chakra through it, and it was amazing, to say the least. Just sending chakra to pass time told him many stories that were not usually known about the trees and the ship he came in. Though he is not a censor, he knew he would get there sometime. It is beautiful. Thank you, Chojuro. Naruto said with a smile, and the blue-haired Jonin's smile widened at that. Naruto's stomach chose that moment to interrupt. I'm hungry, Naruto said with an embarrassed blush, and Chojuro smiled at that. I know this restaurant that makes good seafood. Come, let's go, he said, and guided them through the constructing town while an Umbu squad followed them. Report, Captain, that things are all right, and he saw Hiramakarei. Ask for a further course of action, they said in sign language, and one of the 3 vanished to report. In Konoha. So guys, are you ready? Kakashi asked a quarreling duo and a spectator. Ino started arguing about the unfairness, and Shikamaru's troublesome comment didn't help. Ino started yelling at Shikamaru for being lazy and pointing out that they are busy with their clan jutsu for the man to teach them chakra natures. And Ino, they completed water walking while we didn't. Sensei already told us he will show us our chakra natures when we master that. Choji added his input from the side, munching some chips. Gah, it's useless arguing with you two. She gave up. That's when Kakashi chose to speak, as he was mercilessly ignored till now. I got something for you. Are you good at weapons? He asked, and Ino got a hungry gleam in her eyes. Shikamaru and Choji moved away from her. Kakashi for some reason felt that he was doing something forbidden, and with a gulp, he explained. I know you are good at teamwork, as it is passed down for generations in your families. You have your clan taijutsu and ninjutsu, so I'm not going deep into that. How good are you with weapons? Like kunai, shuriken, staff, sword. Can be anything as long as you are proficient in using it. So take your kunai and fight one-on-one with my clones. He said. 3 clones formed in front of them, and Team 10 was surprised. Sakura and Sasuke gave a superior smirk as they saw Naruto make 10s of those same clones with ease. Asuma continued his explanation as the ruckus from his team mellowed. Let me explain how this works. I'll give you this paper, and when you channel your chakra into it, based on the element the paper reacts. If you have a fire affinity, the paper will catch on fire and turn into ash. If you have wind affinity, the paper will split in half. For lightning, it will wrinkle. For earth, it will turn to dirt and crumble away, and lastly for water, it will become damp. Is this clear? Asuma asked, taking a deep puff, and Team 7 nodded. Ladies first, Sakura, he called, giving the paper to the pink-haired girl. She was nervous, but looking at a confident-looking Naruto and somewhat excited Sasuke, she channeled her chakra into it. It turned to dirt and crumbled, with the edges getting a bit damp. The pink-haired girl missed it. You have earth as your primary affinity, and I can see a bit of water at the edge, so water may be your secondary one, Asuma said with a smile. Sakura's face brightened at that. She assumed that having one element is great, as most shinobi have one, but hearing that she had a second budding affinity made her day. With a bright smile, she walked back to her team while Sasuke passed her to find his. I'm an Uchiha, An elite. I'm sure I have fire. We are masters of it after all. Let's see what else I have. Sasuke thought. These last few days were like a blessing to him as he managed to grasp many things they were told, and though not the best among his peers, he is satisfied with his progress. He thought the village was a poor excuse for a shinobi village as he didn't see any urgency or useful knowledge being taught or trained. But these past few days changed his opinion. He can imagine how this village managed to churn out legends like the Sandame, Yandame and him, but he will take his time, not in a hurry to kill him. Sasuke knows he will get his chance, and when that day comes, he will be the strongest man standing at the end of the fight. With that determination in mind, he channeled chakra into the paper. As expected, the paper wrinkled, but burnt into ash as well. What? He screamed in his mind. Looks like you have primary lightning affinity and secondary fire affinity. Sasuke? Asuma said, with the same encouraging smile. Sasuke didn't respond but stoically walked to Sakura passing Naruto. His minding is screaming in outrage. How can I have a secondary fire affinity? Fire is our bread and butter. Is that the reason why I can't make a big fireball in front of father? He thought deep in memories. Fireball jutsu is the Uchiha clan's rite of passage, and when an Uchiha was able to perform it, they were allowed to wear the clan symbol, the Uchiha fan proudly. Like all young Uchiha kids, Sasuke tried his best to perform it. It took him quite a while and effort to be able to do it, but the only thing he got was disappointment. It is not as big as Itachi's. Anyway, well done Sasuke, were his father's exact words. Now it makes sense why he wasn't able to produce a big one. He didn't notice Naruto's paper as the blonde channeled his chakra into it. What are you gonna show? The blood clone thought mentally, channeling his chakra. The paper split in half with the whole thing turning damp at the same time, forming a misty effect. Well, that's new. Looks like you have both wind and water as your primary affinities, Naruto. That shiny mist is to be seen though. Maybe it's the effect you get when two elements are simultaneously shown. Asuma said, scratching his beard, and Naruto gave a nod as he moved back in line. Well, looks like you three have two affinities, at least to some extent. Now let me tell you the first step of elemental training and control. Asuma said and started explaining. With original. While his clone is testing his elemental affinity and working to improve the control, the original was on his way to Konoha, receiving a send-off from 3 of his friends in Kiri. Chojuro has become a fast friend and even explained some small facts about the civil war that helped them win. Haku and Zabuza managed to explain everything to the Mizukage and were in time to give him the send-off. While the Mizukage herself was present, giving him a small yet sad smile as he left the shores of Kirigakure to Hai no Kuni. Such a sweet boy. If only he was a bit older. She sighed as the ship passed the natural defense, a thick layer of mist around the village. We should be more careful around that brat. Brats these days, coming to another great nation as if it's a picnic. Back in my day, our old folks would be on toes to even go on an official trip. Ao sighed. The Mizukage only heard young men are not fit to marry an old woman. She turned to her and made a death threat which made the man shiver. As the last shadow of the ship passed their sight, all of them moved back to the village, Haku excited about exploring the village. As he boarded the ship, Naruto walked into his quarters and sat in a meditative posture. Let's see what my clones are up to, he thought, and dispelled a clone, ordering for a status report. Finding the secret of the shadow clones was just Kami's blessing as it made life easier for him. While he was away doing his thing, his clones kept things running. He will thank Nidame for such a wonderful invention if he meets the man. Soon he got a flood of memories and he started going through them. Joint exercises, what a sound tactic to develop teamwork. Gigi must be given credit for this. Next came the memory of the Rasengan. Ooh, Rasengan. Nice. Let's see how it went. He thought and went into the memories of the training. A week ago. Flashback begin. After hiding his father's scroll from Gigi and eating ramen with him, the clone came back to his apartment and checked the scroll. He gave the scroll to the second blood clone that was training in the Uzumaki estate. As soon as the contents were read, a new training schedule was prepared. Okay boys, we are going to master the Rasengan now. This is going to be different from our normal training. I want you all to individually master the Rasengan," he said to the 30 shadow clones that were listening to him. All of them patiently waited for further instruction, and the blood clone continued. "You know how we normally train. When one of us makes progress, they will dispel and share knowledge with us. But this time, without anything like that, I want you all to master the Rasengan. I want to test a theory about the different ways of our training and see how it works. This exercise helps us to conclude if all clones mastering the Rasengan increases the effectiveness or strength of it with more time, or we dispelling and sharing knowledge does." He explained. All the shadow clones nodded. "Let's get started," he said, and everyone chose their spot and started practicing. For a week, they continued, none of the shadow clones dispelling, eating and replenishing the lost chakra. Their training started to show results after that, as most of them were able to pass through the first stage of the Rasengan easily, and when all of them gathered to test their progress, most of them were able to complete the first stage, with a few managing to dent a good chunk of the second stage. "Excellent. Let's continue our efforts and make the boss proud." They all cheered and continued to the second phase of the exercise. Flashback end. After seeing the unique weapons Kiri is making, he now wants to start training in the Bukijutsu as well, just to know how to use weapons. Mayuri is simply amazing to be replaced for any other, and he is going to carry her unlike how he has sealed her in a scroll now. Going to Kiri changed his perspective on a few things. Zabuza simply created more love for Mayuri for him to let her be in a scroll anymore. He took her out, placed it in his lap, and started to idly channel his chakra into her. It felt amazing when he first practiced it at the behest of Zabuza, as in his words, every sword wants something to bond with its master, and its blood for him. He pushed Naruto into learning what Mayuri craves from him. When he tried, the soothing feeling she gave when he idly channeled his chakra into her made him love it, and he started doing it whenever he was free. He also started playing with his chakra as well. It was part of the exercise. He started to test his chakra flows, and now it became a part of his daily practice, and he loved it a lot. While this was going on, the QB was observing everything with a hungry gleam. The brat is doing good. He had a matured Sharingan, going through that bastard Yandame's jutsu, and now Hayaton, ice release. Naruto appeared in front of QB. "What? Did you call me QB?" he asked the only entity that lived there. "No, brat, but it's been long since we last talked," he said, and Naruto nodded. "I forgot about your chakra. Hehe," Naruto said with a goofy smile. "As if you can use it. You are simply too young to even touch it," he retorted. "Maybe, but it's for an emergency, and I at least have something to rely upon if need be," Naruto reasoned, and he nodded. "It's very devious of you to take Hayaton from that girl," QB said with a chuckle. "Where devious?" I politely asked Haku and explained it to be a test. She agreed, allowing me to take a small part. And it was not much. I think I took 20th of her chakra, but it was worth it. She was as excited as me to see the icicles that formed Databeo. Naruto said, his verbal tick making a comeback after a long time. "Look who's back. It's been a long time since I heard that. But now you have Hayaton," he said, and Naruto nodded, making a small icicle form on his hand. "What is your plan next? You have the backing of part of my chakra and Hayaton, a rare Kekkei Genkai. Are you going to go around taking all the Kekkei Genkai?" he asked curiously. "What do you take me for, a grave robber? Getting Hayaton is just an experiment, and no, I'm not going to go around stealing Kekkei Genkai unless necessary," Naruto said confidently. "I'm satisfied with that part," he said with a smirk. "You mean I'll steal them still?" Naruto asked. "Nope. Judging by the ongoing events, I'm sure you will be in a situation where you will be forced to do it," he explained with a smirk. Naruto smirked in return. "Oh, QB, you are forgetting something about me," Naruto said, his eyes changing from the cerulean blues to blood red with 3 tomos in them. "I have these bad boys for that," Naruto said with a smirk. "I'm in no hurry. We will see," the QB said with a mysterious smirk and went back inside the cage, out of Naruto's sight. Soon Naruto disappeared as well. He is satisfied with feeling Mayuri and the thrums of excitement she is sending. His journey continued like that. Sorry for the interruption, but you are not reading ANs, so I had no choice. The server is open of you now. Follow the link or enter the code / to join the sanctum. Cirx 2 NZH. A week later. Everything went well with Team 7 and Team 10's exercise, and both teams learned something important, and Team 7 was fortunate in the matter as Asuma guided them through the first level of elemental control. He even allowed the teens to pick which element they want to work on, and Sasuke chose lightning. Sakura took earth while Naruto picked water. He gave them a scroll which had the first level elemental control exercise and some other tips to improve mastery, and Team 7 took it to heart. They first started with leaf exercise as usual, in which they used their element on the leaf to increase their mastery. After leaf, they switched to rocks and destroyed many of them with their control. Naruto felt his water element control increase, and this only added to the effects of his Rasengan, as he also used that for the elemental control exercise. He is happy with his growth, to say the least. They have already mastered the second phase and are marching through the last phase. He is confident it will be in a day or two that they will master the thing. Rasengan is powerful, is saying storms are harmless. The raw power was very hard to control for him, and they had to be careful to not dispel the clones, not to disturb the original. So they took it nice and slow and were able to make leaps and bounds of development in just 2 weeks with 30 clones. How are you progressing? The first blood clone asked, arrived in the Uzumaki estate. Doing good. I'm sure we will be able to do the Rasengan in a few days. The second blood clone said in confidence. I thought of something going through Asuma's training. How about we add wind and water now instead of just doing it later? I completed the first stage of water elemental training, and we already completed wind level 2 training. He proposed. That would be wonderful. They both heard a third voice and turned to see the original walking towards them with his trademark grin. Boss? They asked in surprise, and one nod from the original created cheers from all the practicing shadow clones. How are you all doing? He greeted all the clones, and they excitedly talked about all the training they were going through, though the original already knew about that from the memories. So, is the trip successful? Asked the second blood clone, and Naruto nodded, a cold icy mist forming around his fingers. Yep, she is very open to it and showed me some basic hand signs as well. They had a mixture of water and wind hand signs. They look simple enough. He explained, and the chatter stopped, everyone paying close attention to the original. So what you're up to? He asked the first blood clone. Going to do another joint exercise, but this time with Team 9, whom we never met, he said, and the original nodded. How about you replenish and let other guys do the job? You did great, staying this long without dispelling. I'll handle the joint exercise. He proposed, and the 2 blood clones along with shadow clones nodded. Okay, as soon as I sit to meditate, dispel one by one. He ordered and sat in a meditative position, and the clones started to dispel. Shadow clones followed by blood clones. It took Naruto 1 hour to go through all the memories and training and process everything. After completely going through them, he made 2 more blood clones and 50 shadow clones. Okay boys, half of you continue the training of Rasengan, but this time add the elements as well. Wind and water should be our main focus. The other half are going to train in Hayaton and try to come up with jutsu. Use the lake for the experiment and try freezing it at first and move from there. I'll take care of the joint exercise and we'll be back after the week. He ordered, and everyone nodded. He vanished in a shunshin, running towards his apartment. Team 9, huh? I never heard of them. They are not from our graduation class as well. This should be interesting, he thought as he went to his apartment, completed his bath and other morning rituals, and enjoyed the cool climate in Konoha. He was out of the village for almost 50 days now and missed the climate a lot. It was a pleasant day, and Naruto familiarized himself with the village, though his clone exploits, and kept him up to date with everything. He went to the Ichirakus and ate to his heart's content. He missed the taste a lot. After a detour to his favorite spot, he went to his team's training ground. Sasuke and Sakura were usually waiting for him and their sensei. He observed how Sakura was a bit more confident and Sasuke was smug about something but chose not to disturb them. Elemental training was amazing, wasn't it? Sakura asked with a bright smile, and both boys nodded, as they already practiced it to some extent. Soon their lazy sensei arrived in a puff of smoke. "Ohio, Minasan. How are you, my cute little genin doing?" he asked with an eye smile. "Great. Satisfactory. Manageable," came the three unenthusiastic replies. "Mao, you are no fun to talk to," he said childishly. They all narrowed their eyes. Their sensei won't talk like this, and the suspicion of this man increased by the second. "I must warn you about the team we are going to train with. Be careful with their sense dash. Kakashi, my eternal rival," came a loud yell from the entrance of the training ground, and Team 7 saw a tall and well-muscled man. He has fair skin, a strong jawline, a somewhat large nose, and black hair. He is most noticeable for his shiny bowl-style haircut and thick eyebrows that look like caterpillars. He is wearing a green jumpsuit, orange striped leg warmers, and the standard Konoha flak jacket, which he normally leaves unzipped. His red forehead protector is worn around his waist like a belt. He jogged towards them in high spirits with a clone of himself who has similar shiny black hair, round eyes with prominent lower eyelashes, and very thick eyebrows similar to the man. His full appearance is similar to the man with his hair in a bowl-cut style, green jumpsuit, orange leg warmers, and a red forehead protector worn as a belt. He has bandages around his forearms up to his fingers, which is the only difference they can spot. He is also running with the same excitement, and beside them, Naruto saw a familiar face. Tenten, the same bun-haired girl that sold him his shinobi gear. She is in the same Chinese-style dress. Their last team member was odd, to say the least, as he had fair skin and long dark brown. His eyes reminded them of a certain dark blue-haired girl in their class. He wore a beige-colored shirt, a dull blue shirt beneath that, and mesh armor beneath that. He wore dark brown shorts and blue shinobi sandals, and wrapped bandages around his right arm, chest, and right leg. He tied his hair back in a loose ponytail tied a few inches above the end. He wore a black forehead protector, under which was a smaller headband with two straps that framed the sides of his face. After similar observations from Team 9 were made by the time the enthusiastic sensei and his clone made it to Team 7. "Kakashi, my eternal rival. I see you are training your youthful team for this exercise," Guy said with a thumbs up and a spark to his smile, while Kakashi was neck-deep in his book. After a few seconds, he looked up from his book. "Did you say something, Guy?" he asked, cleaning his ear. The man struck a pose. "You and your hip attitude. I challenge you to dash. We should concentrate on the joint exercise first." Kakashi interrupted, and Guy relaxed from his pose and seemed to ponder. Yes, I'll take care of your youthful students and make their flames of youth be properly fanned," Guy said, giving Team 7 a thumbs up, but the team couldn't respond. "Yes, Guy-sensei, we should fan our flames of youth," his clone shouted, and both men started explaining about the flames of youth. "Yes, Lee, if you would excuse me, Team 7, come on," Guy said in jogging, and Team 7 reluctantly followed. They knew this week is not going to be as fun as the last few in the first few moments of their interaction. "Wait, Guy, they should introduce themselves first," Kakashi said, but Guy with Team 7 has already disappeared through the treeline. Kakashi sighed, shaking his head. "Okay, tell me what he taught you, so that I can see where I can help you," he said to the members of Team 9, and they started introducing themselves. "Unknown location. Are you sure this is reliable?" a shadowed figure asked a masked shinobi resembling an umbu. "Yes, Danzo-sama," the umbu replied in a monotone. "Keep monitoring him. We can't have him betray Konoha like the bastard brother of his," he ordered, and the umbu bowed and vanished. "Damn that Hiruzen. You not only gave me the Kyuubi brat's custody but also did not monitor the Uchiha brat as well. Now he seems to have awakened his Sharingan. What is your plan in starting this new joint exercise, Hiruzen?" he thought, cursing his rival for spoiling his plans. "Maybe it's time for a meeting. I'm not going to let that Kyuubi brat go that easily," he thought, walking into his office to plan. Chapter 11. Youth. "Yash, fan your flames of youth," Guy said to the sweating Team 7. They have been running for a while, and the man who seemed unsatisfied gave them 20-kilo weights on each limb, which were reduced to 15 for Sakura, who lost her balance when 21s were applied. Even Naruto is having some difficulty as he hasn't started weight training yet, as the scroll said to wait till he had enough mastery in seals. The seal the bushy-haired man was using was simple enough and Naruto understood its mechanics. It's just wait with kanji for perseverance written on it. Though this gave the blonde an idea to work with, while Sasuke looked elated at this. Till now, the only gap he saw between the blonde and himself is taijutsu, a field in which the blonde's hyperstamina comes into play. But if he continued like this, the Uchiha knew he would beat the blonde soon and break that man when push came to shove. Yash! Just like that. Guy cheered as he continued to walk on his left with feet up quite fastly compared to the struggling trio. How long are we gonna do this, Guy-sensei? Sakura stuttered out with gulping breaths. Till the south gate, Guy said with a thumbs up, balancing on one hand as his teeth shined as if it's the best thing in the world. I can't! Sakura dropped to her knees, and Guy immediately ran to her to check what was wrong. That's okay. You can rest and we can restart after you have had enough rest, he said with excitement Team 7 didn't share. Can we switch to normal training for some time? Sasuke, who wouldn't generally talk, asked for the first time, fearful of the workouts the man will come up with if this continued. What a youthful spirit. Yes, for fanning your flames of youth. I'll teach you what taijutsu is like, Guy said with a pose and a thumbs up with his teeth shining as usual. Taijutsu is the extreme form of pushing your youthful body into doing youthful things. Team 7 stared at the man disinterestedly as he continued to explain all the youthful things taijutsu can do. So to push your youthful bodies, you are going to spar with me all at once and then one-on-one. I'll point out the flaws of your youthful style, Guy said with a similar pose and a thumbs up with his teeth shining. Team 7 sighed in relief as the man seemed to come to the point of the exercise. I would have left if he continued like that, Naruto thought. Though that won't be a wise choice as the man seems good at taijutsu and he didn't trust him to accidentally not dispel his clone and spill his secret. To face a Sharingan user, you shouldn't see into their eyes but be an expert in observing their body language to predict their moves, Guy said, and that caught Naruto's and Sasuke's attention. Both teens started looking at the man in interest. Is it possible that this oaf/Guy to develop a style to fight against Sharingan? They thought simultaneously. My experience with my eternal rival came very handy for me in this. I'll teach you how to improve your taijutsu style first, and if you manage to impress me with your youthful determination, I'll teach you the secrets of fighting against a Sharingan user, he said with a thumbs up. How the hell did it come to this? He started talking about youth and ended up about explaining a fighting style against Sharingan. Is this intentional? Is he doing it on purpose? Naruto thought. This will help me. Yes, I'll be able to fight against him without trouble. Show me what moves you got. Sasuke smirked in his mind as Guy called them into a 3-on-1 spar. No ninjutsu. Only use your taijutsu and attack me, Guy said as all the members of Team 7, who surrounded Guy. And begin, he said with a chop. Sasuke and Naruto lunged like predators and tried to kick and punch the bowl-haired man respectively. Guy dodged both of them with ease with a bend and jump. Sakura attacked soon with a battle cry Iche, with her punch following her teammates. Though he was midair, Guy twisted to the side, dodging the punch easily. Yash, use your taijutsu well, Guy encouraged, and Naruto's body started to envelop in invisible winds as he moved towards Guy with his fist raised. As he reached Guy, his fist shot towards Guy's gut with tremendous speed, trying to tear open Guy's gut. Seeing the speed and feeling something amiss, Guy applied chakra to his hand and swept Naruto's hand. He felt a sharp cut on his hand even though he coated his hand in chakra and saw the small cuts that started to trickle drops of blood. Yash, what a youthful style. It is marvelous. I didn't see such integration of an element with a taijutsu style. Can only be one. Is it Fujinkan? Guy asked with stars in his eyes. Yes, sensei, Naruto replied, and Guy nodded in appreciation, though he didn't know how the man knows about it. All right, you three, continue, he ordered, and they continued again. This time Guy started taking them seriously. Sasuke tried his best without his Sharingan to no avail. Guy is moving too fast for him to keep up, though he scolded himself for being slow. He needs a quick way to see the man's moments and intercept them or get a good hit like Naruto. He knew his speed can keep up, but his eyes can't, and so he channeled chakra to his eyes and activated his Sharingan. The onyx eyes turned to blood red with a single tomo in them, giving Sasuke some much-needed clarity. He saw Guy's moments in slow motion now and can keep up. Seeing the sharp change in dodging and stance of Sasuke, Guy increased his speed, keeping up with the three of them with ease. To test their reflexes, he used one of his signature moves. Konoha Senpu, Leaf Hurricane, Guy said, giving a spinning low kick for making the three of them dodge or jump. As expected, the three dodged. He followed suit with his next attack. Konoha Reppu Leaf Gale, he said, sending a series of high and low kicks, each of which is fast enough that even Sasuke's Sharingan can't react to them. He was caught off guard and was thrown into the distance while Sakura was long gone. Unable to dodge Guy's low kicks, Naruto is the only one standing, trying his best to keep track of kicks and dodge them. It was proving hard as the man seemed to increase the speed of the attacks. Damn it! Why can't I see them clearly? The original screamed in his head. He was tempted to activate his Sharingan and see all the attacks and dodge them, but Zabuza's challenge stopped him from doing that. When Naruto asked him about his speed with his long sword, the answer Zabuza gave was interesting, to say the least. Flashback begin. So you are curious about my speed now? Zabuza asked Naruto with narrowed eyes. Yeah, you are good with that sword of yours. I tried to move it while holding it and it nearly threw me into the water. How come you were able to swing it effortlessly? Naruto asked curiously. Heh, my sword is strong and hard to hold for sure. That weight tends to come as an advantage to me. Anyway, when I was given this sword, I wasn't as fast as I liked. So I practiced screwing some of the fastest shinobi in the village or challenging people who were rumored to be faster. I trained with them repeatedly till I was able to cut them with this. Zabuza said, looking at his sword dearly. So training with fast people is enough to make you move fast, huh? Never heard of such an absurd exercise. Naruto said, which made the swordsman laugh. Flashback end. Naruto applied it to his case and decided to not use Sharingan if it is something speed-related. That's when an idea struck him. Wind. His wind. He channeled wind to his hands and used the speed to dodge Guy's attacks, and with some practice, he was able to easily dodge them. Guy was surprised by the sudden increase in Naruto's speed. Though he doesn't have Sharingan, he can suspect Naruto using his wind in some way. Guy was not even a fraction of how fast he can be. Naruto keeping up with him in taijutsu at low Jounin level speed is not easy. What a youthful kid. Youthful usage of wind, I see. He thought with a bright smile and decided to test Naruto. While using his kicks, he targeted Naruto's face. Dynamic entry, Guy said, sending a kick to Naruto's face, and much to Naruto's surprise, he activated his Sharingan, which was still covered by his contacts that made the kick slower, and he was able to dodge the attack at hair's breadth. Excellent. Such a youthful spirit. Well done, students. Now relax. I'll come up with a training schedule for you three, Guy said with a thumbs up. Naruto walked to a shade and relaxed. Sasuke, on the other hand, is cackling. Yes. 3 taijutsu moves. These will help me. What is that coating I saw on Naruto? And what's with those eyes? For a second I thought they were bright and then they dimmed down. He thought in confusion. Though he didn't care about it, as copying 3 new taijutsu moves was giving him joy. He didn't know these joint exercises are this beneficial. He had to give the old Hokage credit for introducing them. With Team 9. So he taught you taijutsu, Kakashi said, pointing to Lee, who nodded excitedly. Taught you how to throw, cough, use your ninja tools? He asked the bun-haired girl, who nodded. And you? You improved your taijutsu and dash. Kakashi didn't comment further. Okay, I'll help you with strategies and planning. Your team looks balanced, he confessed. But sensei, we beard you are ninjutsu expert. You can teach us some ninjutsu? Tenten asked, and Kakashi went into a thinking pose. What did Asuma teach you? Oh, Asuma-sensei taught us how to smoke dash. Tenten chopped Lee at that. He means how to withstand smoke attacks and such, she corrected, and Kakashi nodded with a sweat drop. I suppose we can use some strategic training. Also, Why aren't we allowed to spar with other teams? Niji asked in a neutral tone. Niji knew why the man is avoiding ninjutsu. Lee doesn't have the required chakra reserves for it, and his clan won't allow him to learn any ninjutsu. Only Tenten remains open. So to not upset the team balance, he might have decided to teach them, and maybe others didn't either. Niji thought. You have a year of experience and they are new, so the Hokage-sama decided against it as you have experience. Kakashi explained, and Niji nodded in satisfaction. I can offer you survival training if you want something more interesting than strategy. Kakashi offered, and Team 9 turned towards him with varied reactions. That will help me fan my flames of youth, Lee yelled enthusiastically. Not again, Tenten almost yelled. Niji didn't reply verbally, but his uneasy expression was enough. Ah, guess strategy training it is, Kakashi said with a sheepish smile, and Tenten and Niji sighed in relief. Week later. Hokage Tower. Though Konoha is a shinobi village and governed under the sole authority of the Hokage, there are two other functioning bodies other than the Hokage which look after different affairs of the village. The Hokage's advisors and council. Hokage's advisors or aides are handpicked by the ruling Hokage according to their preferences, and next, the council. The council is again divided into two parts, the Shinobi Council and the Civilian Council. Anyone who hasn't passed the academy and other civilians of the village come under the Civilian Council, while the shinobi affairs are dealt with by the Shinobi Council. The Civilian Council mostly consists of wealthy businessmen and elected representatives by the merchants and business owners of the village. The Shinobi Council consists of all major clan heads along with the Umbu and Jounin commanders, though the former doesn't participate and are high-ranking shinobi. The council meetings are one of the worst nightmares of the Sandaime, as he feels he is too old to deal with them. But he is pleased, excited even to discuss it as the Shinobi Council assembled. The council chambers is a big room with the center of the semicircle covered by two tables on each end, with the Hokage chair in the middle. Beside him sat his advisors and elders of the village who were former teammates of the Sandaime. Mitokado Hamura, Udatain Koharu, and the last one is Sandaime's rival in everything, Shimura Danzo. Opposite them sat the clan heads of major clans of Konoha. The first seat was for the Senju clan, the founding clan of Konohagakure no Sato with the Uchiha clan. As there were no Senju clan members in the village, the seat was currently vacant. In the next seat was the Hyuga clan, which is led by Hayashi Hyuga. He has long, black hair, pupil-less white eyes like all members of his clan, and an unmarked forehead. He wore very traditionally, loose-fitting robes with a long-sleeved, brown haori that has the symbol of the Hyuga clan on its back. Next to him was Nara Shikaku, the Nara clan head. Shikaku had two scars on the right side of his face which were probably his most noticeable feature. He had dark hair tied up into a spiky ponytail, dark eyes as well as a goatee. His ears were also pierced, and he wore a meshed shirt underneath his flak jacket, a deerskin coat over that, and handguards. He is the Jounin commander of Konoha's shinobi forces and Shikamaru's father. Next to him sat the head of the Yamanaka clan, Yamanaka Inoichi. He had long ash-blonde hair reaching into his lower back, which was spiky on top and ending in a long ponytail with two long bangs covering either side of his face, light green eyes and strong facial features, which included a well-defined jawline. He wore a standard Jounin flak jacket over a black outfit, complete with handguards, Konoha forehead protector, and a sleeveless red haori with the symbol of the Yamanaka clan on its back. Inoichi is also head of Konoha's interrogation and torture department and is well respected among his peers for his prowess. A large man followed him. This is Akimichi Choza, head of the Akimichi clan. Choza is a tall, plump man with naturally brown hair, but seems to wear a long, spiky red hairpiece. He has purple markings on his cheeks, a common trait in the Akimichi clan. He wore a samurai-like outfit which entails a black suit complete with armor that has the kanji for food, sir, shoku, on it. He also wore a rope belt, handguards, and instead of a forehead protector, a bandage tied around his forehead head with a long bang of cloth hanging to the right side of his face, in addition to a pair of silver, hooped earrings. These three clans are called Ino Shikacho as they are allies for generations and prefer a collective action than an individual clan action. They have a lot of weight and respect in the council. The next seat was empty, which once belonged to the Uchiha clan, the other founding clan. In the next seat sat the current alpha of the Inuzuka clan, Inuzuka Tsum. Tsum has an animalistic look with long, spiky, untamed brown hair, vertical slit-like pupils, elongated canine teeth and nails. She also has the Inuzuka clan Fong markings on her cheeks, as well as markings over her eyes and a dark shade of purple lipstick. She wears the standard outfit of a Konoha shinobi, consisting of a flak jacket and a black suit underneath with the sleeves rolled up and bandages around her legs. She is a Tokubetsu Jonin of Konoha. To her right sat the current head of the Aburame clan, Shibi Aburame. Shibi, like all members of his clan, has his eyes obscured by dark glasses which feature a single tassel hanging down from one side. He has very spiky short black hair and a mustache. He typically wears a high-collared outfit, while carrying a gourd on his back that is used for holding more kikaichu. He also tends to keep his hands in his pockets a lot. He has a stoic personality like all Aburame clan members. "The council is in session," Sandame said as everyone assembled. "I've summoned you to discuss the new system of mission assignment," he said in a stern tone. No one objected, and so he continued. "The current system we are following based on the Jounin's decision is doing us more harm than good as most shinobi, and our younger shinobi aren't getting enough experience," he said, and many eyebrows rose on two sides, but they didn't comment. "So I have come up with a new system for mission assignments. If a team completes 15 D-rank missions, they can go on a C-rank mission, and with the completion of 5 C-ranks, they can go on a B-rank. 3 B-ranks completion will push them to go on an A-rank. These are the numbers," he explained. Many eyes touched their hairlines at this. Number-based mission assignment? Preposterous. Danzo was ready to use his tongue, though he got ignored. "If I may know why this system all of a sudden, Hokage-sama?" Shikaku asked, though he has a good idea. "Good question. I have tested a new way of training method called joint exercises among our new batch of genin, and it is successful. They are not only taught in other areas where their sensei lack, but also they showed improvement in their overall skills and performance. Taking that as a base of change, I want to implement this new system to change the structure and functioning of our village. We are far too lax, and I don't want this to be a sign of weakness to other villages," he explained, and the council listened to his every word patiently. "What is this sudden change, Hiruzen? What if the other nations take this as an act of war and attack the village? It's a careless move," Danzo argued. Hiruzen turned to Danzo, and for the first time in years, Danzo saw the real Sarutobi Hiruzen. The man is called the second shinobi no kami, worthy of that name. "I have had enough of your blabbering. You are hereby suspended from all shinobi council meetings. Now get out of my sight," Hiruzen ordered, his eyes glowing with chakra. Danzo kicked his chair in rage and walked out with his cane. His other teammates are looking at Hiruzen in surprise. He has become soft in the last few years after the passing of the Yondaime, and they missed the Sandame a lot. "I had enough of useless excuses. I want Konoha to be safe and will take any measures needed to make that happen." "Any objection to the new mission assignment system?" he asked, and no one objected. "The system hereby passes and comes into motion effective immediately," he said, stamping his approval seal and giving it to Shikaku with a look to implement it, and Nara's head nodded. Meanwhile, while Hokage and the council were deciding about the mission assignment system, Team 7 and Team 9 are completing the last part of the joint exercises. "Thank you for teaching us, Gai-sensei. We will make you proud." Team 7 bowed to Gai, who had a slight blush on his cheeks in joy. "Thank you for teaching us, Kakashi-sensei. We hope to make you proud." Team 9 said with a bow in unison, and Kakashi gave them an eye smile, his book away for once. As they all sighed, thinking everything was going smoothly, the noble green beast of Konoha spoke. "Yash, you are very youthful, my eternal rivals team. You will continue to fan your flames of youth," Gai exclaimed with a thumbs up, and his teeth shined in a nice Gai pose. "Yes, Gai-sensei, fanning the flames of youth is very youthful." "You can do this, Lee," Gai said in enthusiasm. "Gai-sensei," Lee said in amazement. "Lee," Gai replied with enthusiasm. "Oh no, Tenten said in dread. Guy-sensei. Lee. Lee started moving closer to Guy and soon they hugged, crying out youth, and the scenery behind them changed into a sandy beach and sunset scene with raging ocean waves. Team 7 with Kakashi were stunned. Though the copy ninja somehow managed to go back to his book with a sigh, the rest of his team couldn't. What happened? Naruto asked in confusion. It is their youthful hug, Tenten said. They looked at her, unimpressed. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Niji sighed, and that explained that problem. The sunset repeatedly comes back to memory. Is this a new genjutsu or something? Why do I keep remembering it? Sakura asked tentatively. That's one of its side effects. Tenten patted on the younger girl and dispersed as their sensei and Lee won't come out of the youthful talk. Let's move to Hokage Tower. We have a mission waiting for us, Kakashi said, and Team 7 absent-mindedly moved to meet the Hokage. As they reached the Hokage Tower, they saw a crowd form and were confused. The Hokage Tower will be free of crowds. The crowd cleared and they saw a notice being made in front of them, and they moved closer through the crowd to see what it was. Ah, Team 7, what a surprise. Come, follow me, Sandaime said, and Team 7 followed, out of their shock. As they walked in, they saw a big line of teams waiting for missions. We have a change of policy and they are taking their new missions, Hiruzen clarified, leading them to the mission assignment room. Give me that scroll, he asked the assistant, and she gave him a scroll. Here is a mission that will suit your team, Hiruzen said, and gave Team 7 a scroll. Kakashi read through it and was surprised by the content. Hokage-sama, are you sure? Kakashi asked. Yes, Kakashi. Deliver this scroll to the destination safely, Hiruzen said with a nod. Hi, Hokage-sama, Kakashi said with a salute. Team, meet me at North Gate in 2 hours, Kakashi said, and Team 7 was dismissed. Chapter 12. Suna. North Gate. Team 7 managed to recover from their shock about the mission and managed to meet their sensei at North Gate after 5 hours. Surprisingly, Kakashi was the first to arrive. Hello, team. You are on time. Let's get started, Kakashi said, not worried that they are late. Of all things that changed in the man, coming as per schedule is not one of them. He still comes 3 to 4 hours late, and so the team follow the same. As they were moving from the village, Sakura couldn't hold it and asked, Sensei, where are we going? We are going to Kaze no Kuni, Land of Wind, to meet the Kazekage. We are submitting the scroll to the Kazekage, Kakashi explained, gesturing to the scroll in his pocket. Listening to that, the blood clone sent the news to the original, who came to replace the clone as he didn't want to miss seeing Land of Wind personally. This makes his visit to the third great nation of the 5. He always meets the Hokage, personally met and talked with the Mizukage, and is now going to meet the Kazekage. Maybe it's my luck, Naruto chuckled. He thought of staying in the estate and starting the elemental mastery of other elements and possibly meeting the dragons to see what was going on. But visiting another shinobi village piqued his interest and postponed some to the future. It's not like he can't practice while traveling. He will get experience on how to hide from an elite Jounin-level shinobi and test his espionage skills as well against the same. Kakashi acted as if he didn't notice Naruto replacing, as the blonde was the rear guard and the replacement happened smoothly according to the blonde. Oh my, I didn't think he was using clones till now. Very clever. The masked man chuckled under his mask. I wonder what else he is doing. Kakashi knows the shadow clones are used for many things, but using them for missions is not something he ever thought of, as it needs a lot of chakra and nobody has that much chakra. Nobody except Naruto, it seems. He was about to ponder deeper when his pink-haired student interrupted. Land of Wind? I thought it was a desert nation, Sakura said in a neutral tone, not to insult anyone. She learnt respecting others. The training they were going through was working, as the pink-haired girl didn't stop to rest. Yes, takes 3 days for us to reach there, so it's a long journey ahead, the scarecrow said. You are going to teach us something during this trip? Sasuke asked, running beside the man. Maybe if we reach there sometime ahead, I can teach you some jutsu, Kakashi said with an eye smile, and that sparked an interest in the Uchiha, who increased his speed. They moved at high speeds for an hour when Sakura had enough and stopped to rest, which stopped the entire team. They sat to take a breather and waited for the only Kunoichi to recover. With clones. So the boss replaced you? One of the blood clones asked and the other nodded. They were working on Rasengan and trying to make some ice jutsu from the hand signs Haku showed them, and it was a slow process. Some basic jutsu like spikes, senbon, and floor were easily copied following some earth and water jutsu. But the uniqueness of ice style is yet to be explored. They are yet to create any strong jutsu like freezing water or people that are hard to escape and deadly. They are working on that and Bukijutsu from Tuchan scrolls. While the two blood clones are discussing progress, one of the shadow clones brought the scroll from Kiri, interested to see what was in it. Yo guys, who is interested in seeing what is in this bad boy? He asked, showing the scroll, and the other blood clones noticed it. Yeah, that one was like that for some time. Guess the boss forgot about it. Let's see what's in it. Keep it in this sealing circle, said one of the blood clones. The sealing circle in question can mitigate any explosions and triggers from attacking, thus saving the scroll from self-destruction if such a mechanism was put in it. The shadow clone put the scroll in the array and all of them moved a few meters. The blood clone moved forward and inspected all the seals on the scroll. He started to slowly unlock all the seals, and as the last step was a blood drop, he smeared it across the layer, and with a puff of smoke, a letter and some tools were thrown out of the scroll. A voice started speaking. If Naruto remembered it correctly, it is his grandfather's. To the attacking cowards who are attacking my country and people, get the fuck out. You hooligans had caused enough mess. Since the seal was opened by Uzumaki blood, I'm assuming you have one of my people with you. I want you to listen closely to the seal and listen carefully to what I'm about to say. I will know if you try to act smart. The voice said, and the first blood clone went near the seal where the voice is coming, and as soon as the ear was near, a low-frequency sound was sent by the seal. If you think you can cheat me there, that oughta neutralize you. Now my dear fellow clansmen, I, Uzumaki Ashura, thank you for bringing the thugs that ravaged our lands to justice. In the scroll are some artistic pranking tools I made for my daughter, Kushina. She is a hyperactive one, I'm telling ya. If you are wondering, this scroll was obviously made to be noticeable. And the addition of danger makes it more enticing for those criminals to take it, thus diverting the attention from the actual scroll which was kept in a secret chamber. I hope I have bought you enough time for you to escape from them and hope you are in good health and rebuilding the Uzumaki clan. Best wishes. Ashura Uzumaki. The voice died out. Many clones had dispelled from the laughter the letter caused them at the bittersweetness it presented about the situation in Uzushio back then. The pranking tools started to come out of the scroll, and though they were old, they are quite ingenious in design, and the clones saw how some can be used as ninja tools. With the original, Naruto was surprised by 100 laughing clones' memories and had to bite his tongue to not laugh out loud. The sheer audacity of his gramps to prank the enemy brought unbearable joy to him. Though some low groans made out despite his suppression, he slowed to not let his team listen to his laughter. He made a shadow clone, which replaced him, and after an hour of non-stop laughter, he joined the team on their journey. In half a day, they crossed 1/5 of the journey and decided to rest in a clearing for food. The packed food they brought came out as each of them started eating. As always, Kakashi was secretive, turning around while eating, not showing his team his real face, which disappointed the genin. Unable to bear the silence, Sakura broke the silence. What can you tell us about the Land of Wind, Kakashi-sensei? Land of Wind, eh? It is a great nation like ours and has a shinobi village, Sunagakure no Sato, and the Kazekage protects the Land of Wind. Though last I heard, the daimyo is not happy with Suna. It is confidential information after all, and we are not told everything. Suna is well known for its wind users and has the most wind affinity shinobi, he said pointedly to Naruto. So it is most useful to me, huh? Naruto said in joy. As he couldn't deny it, Kakashi nodded silently. Sasuke, on the other hand, is eager to show the blonde who is superior and grinded his teeth in silence. Sakura was being Sakura and admired the foul face of the Uchiha, with inner Sakura running around like a headless chicken as her counterpart couldn't understand what was going on. 2 days later, after a throat-drying journey through the unbearable heat of the Wind Nation, and being warmly welcomed by a few sandstorms, Team 7 finally reached an oasis. They can see a large wall which they aren't clear about. While Sakura and Sasuke are gasping, walking like elderly, hands on their knees and barely making steps, Kakashi, from prior experience, lowered his head mask. He added another mask in addition to the face mask he always had, as he knew how treacherous the winds can be on their journey to Suna. Sakura lost it in the first hour while Naruto didn't wear it. The blonde started something that surprised his team and walked across the desert as if the wind didn't affect him. Sasuke and Kakashi had to use their Sharingan to understand what the blonde is doing. Naruto has a layer of fast-moving wind surrounding him, which acts as a shield to the blonde and is thus not affected by the wind blown across the desert. The speed of the wind surrounding Naruto is very high compared to the wind blown across the desert, sparing the blonde from the wind and heat. Naruto used his ice affinity to cool the air that is circulating around him. This made him stay calm across the journey. Though he wanted to use it on his team, he knew he didn't have enough mastery to do so, and even the slightest mistake from them results in drastic consequences. So he didn't try. Soon they saw large walls and slowly made their way to the structure when Kakashi took lead. Naruto noticed the strategic importance of the area and had to give marks to the big heads who planned the location of the village. Being surrounded by desert offers Suna a good natural deterrence against invasion, as few foreign powers would be willing to endure the sandstorms and water scarcity. Only add to the fact that Sunagakure itself lies in a fortified valley behind cliffs of rock. If he deduced it correctly, the passage is the only in and out of the village restricted to a single cleft between two cliff faces, making the area very hard to attack from the ground. They approached a small entrance in the gap and saw a shinobi standing guard. "Halt! State your purpose," they heard a man ask in a gruff voice from his position guarding the village. "Hello, Shinobi-san. We are from Konoha carrying an important message to Kazekage-sama from Hokage-sama. Here is the order," Kakashi said, giving the guard a scroll that had the order of the Hokage with the Hokage seal. Naruto noticed how Kakashi said the Kazekage's name first instead of Hokage's, which came out as a sign of respect to the leader of Suna, impressing the guards because of the preference he showed their leader. That's smart. So respect the leader and give first preference to them to get positive points from the people and shinobi. Noted, Naruto thought. After skimming through the scroll, the guard nodded in satisfaction and scrolled the submitted scroll, and turned to Kakashi. "Your ID," he said. Team 7 showed their ID. Naruto didn't miss the surprised look the guard gave his team after going through IDs. But after noting their names in the records, they were allowed in with a general direction to the Kazekage Tower. "Well, that's easy," Sakura said as they entered Suna, and Kakashi nodded. "Suna is our ally. That's why the formalities are minimal. If it is not, then things would be different," Kakashi said as they moved on. After passing through the narrow crack in the walls, they got the first glimpses of Suna. The buildings seemed to be made of clay, which would help to keep the buildings cool, and people covered their bodies from top to bottom, unlike how they were in Konoha. Team 7 understood the reason, as the sand and wind storms they came across made it clear. They slowly made their way to the Kazekage Tower. It's almost straight road from the entrance, with Suna guards. "Did we just come across the Shiroi Kiba, White Fang?" The guard who verified Team 7's IDs asked the other guard. "Didn't someone say the White Fang is dead? He doesn't seem old. Maybe he is White Fang's son." "Idiots, he is Sharingan no Kakashi, son of Hatake Tsukumo the White Fang. He is a famous ninja himself. It's said that he copied 1,000 jutsu with his Sharingan," a third person said as he removed his cover. "Baki, sir. What brought you here?" The two guards saluted Baki. "We just came back from the mission. Where did you send them?" "To the Kazekage Tower, sir." "To the Kazekage Tower, eh? We just returned means Gaara will be there." "No!" Baki thought in panic and rushed to the Kazekage Tower. Baki knows how dangerous things can get when Gaara is around. The guards saw Baki leave and were dumbfounded. With Team 7, they almost reached the Kazekage Tower, silently seeing how different the Suna is from Konoha, while Naruto differentiated the three major villages he saw. They felt a small gust of wind pass them and saw a girl standing in their way. She has teal eyes and sandy blonde hair, which is gathered into 4 consecutive pigtails. She wore a single light purple-colored, off-the-shoulders garment that extended to halfway down her thighs, with a scarlet sash tied around her waist. She wore her black forehead protector around her neck. The team raised their eyebrows seeing her. "Foreign shinobi in our home? Who are you and what are you doing here?" she asked in a condescending tone. "We are here to deliver a message to Kazekage-sama," Kakashi said neutrally. He gave a side glance to his team, signaling them to go on guard. "A message to father? You can give it to us. We will forward it." A male voice spoke and they turned to see a girl with makeup. "I'm a boy," he yelled at them as if he knew what they thought. Temari laughed uncontrollably at that. "Whatever the case may be, we need to deliver this to Kazekage-sama. It's Hokage-sama's order." Kakashi tried reasoning. "What's this commotion?" They all heard another voice, but this was different from the prior two. It was on edge as if it was annoyed, and the 2 sand shinobi stiffened at the voice. "Gaara, it's nothing. We have some guests, that's it," Temari said, trying her best to stay calm and convince Gaara. "They have a message for father as well," the makeup GI boy added as if it would change the case. "I don't like them. Mother doesn't like them. They are not needed," Gaara said in a monotone. Something unexpected happened at that moment. The sand Team 7 is standing on started to tighten around their ankles. Sasuke activated his Sharingan to see what was going on. Kakashi also unveiled his Sharingan. "No, is he Suna's Jinchuriki?" Kakashi thought in horror. As an experienced jounin, he knew which Bijou had what ability, and Suna's Jinchuriki was considered the most volatile among all. Though he doesn't know the specifics or even if the boy in front of him is the Jinchuriki, he knew they were in danger and he needed to do something to escape. Suddenly, a large gust of wind swept across Team 7, dispersing the sand around their ankles. This surprised everyone, even Temari and the makeup boy. "What? You dare defy mother?" Gaara said in anger. Gaara's mindscape was dull with endless darkness. In the middle of the void was a lone figure. It had a maniacal glee at the turn of events. "Now I can kill them," it said with a happy face. "Don't, Shikaku." A deep tone echoed in the endless dune of sand. In the middle of the dunes stood a soul figure. It is a sandy brown colored tanuki, with black markings all over its face, body, and tail. It has a jagged, concave mouth with no tongue, and the sclerae of its eyes are black, with yellow irises and pupils that each take the shape of a black 4-pointed star with 4 black dots around it. "Who dares call me like that?" Shikaku screamed into what he thought was endless sand. "Ha ha 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 ha." He heard amused laughter echo through the area and sent sand in all directions in a fit of rage. "Are you hurt by my laughter?" Kyubi said, appearing in front of Shikaku. Shikaku was taken aback by the sudden appearance of the Kyubi and stared in shock. "Is that you, Ku-dash?" Don't you dare call me by that name," Kyubi said in a threatening tone. Shikaku stopped himself. "Why are you here then?" Shikaku yelled again, the sand around them shaking in his rage. "Can't I see how my Ototo is doing?" Kyubi asked with a teasing smirk. "Why you?" Shikaku yelled and sent sand toward Kyubi to drown him in his sand. "Ah, cute," Kyubi said, and with a fling of his tail, the sand dispersed. "That's why I don't like you," Shikaku said, going on a tangent about how and what made him dislike Kyubi. Kyubi, on the other hand, watched in amusement. "And then you threw me into the water dash." Shikaku suddenly realized something. How did Kyubi suddenly get here? He turned towards Kyubi and shook his head as if it was his dream. "Wait, how are you here?" he asked incredulously. "I was waiting for you to realize that," Kyubi said with a superior smirk. "Screw this. I'll kill you," Shikaku said, and once again sand around them started to rise up threateningly. With Team 7, everyone was dumbfounded at the sudden events. "You dare defy Mother?" Gaara said in a threatening tone filled with malice. "Gaara, no," the sand Kunoichi said in a fearful tone. "Please, Gaara, they are our guests," the makeup pleaded. No, they must die for disrespecting Mother, Gaara said in a resolute tone. Sand started forming into 4 shapes. What's going on? Baki asked, appearing in the middle of the scene. Baki-sensei, Gaara is trying to kill the Konoha shinobi as they disrespected Mother, the makeup boy explained. Stop him, Baki-sensei, the girl urged. Stop, Gaara, a male voice said with authority from above them, and all of their heads rose to see a lone figure standing on the balcony of the Kazekage Tower. He had auburn hair, dark eyes with a very stern look on his face. He wore a simple black jacket and pants with mesh armor underneath. He carried a small canister strapped to his hip. He wore similar attire to the Hokage, except his was green instead of reddish-orange of the Hokage, and the signature hat of a Kage with the kanji for wind, Feng, on it. Team 7 understood he was the Kazekage and was waiting for him to do something. Naruto is ready to defend his team if Gaara tried something funny. But as soon as the Kazekage ordered, Gaara's maniacal look was replaced by cold ignorance as he turned away from them and walked off. They all sighed in relief. That jutsu is strong. If we're caught in it, I would have resorted to using Chidori, Kakashi thought. He also analyzed how well Naruto used that wind jutsu. Others didn't even know by the looks of surprise on their face. That's terrifying. That sand stopped me instantly. I should find something to defend against it, Sasuke thought in annoyance. When he thought he could fight against a Chunin, this happened. Their team was humiliated by a puny genin. Thank God we are alive. I thought we would be killed. I should improve my training. I don't want to be in a situation like this, Sakura thought in relief. Phew, I thought I would have to use some more of my wind jutsu. Thanks, green suit guy, Naruto sighed in joy. While the primary relief was the same for the Suna team as well, they are curious to know where that wind came from to save them from drowning in the first place. Bring them up, Baki, Kazekage ordered, and Baki turned to them, gesturing to the entrance. Team 7 followed the half-covered man, the sand team following them in. After getting taken straight to the Kazekage office, Team 7 were surprised by the emptiness of the office. They know the Hokage office is empty except for a table and chair, but this is another level of emptiness. The Sandaime has photos of all Hokages hanging on the wall with some of his memories, like with his team and family. But this office just has a table and desk with the Sunagakure crest. Nothing else. What's the purpose of your visit? The serious voice of the Kazekage brought Team 7 out of their musings. Kakashi moved forward and presented a scroll in front of the Kazekage. A message from Hokage-sama, Kazekage-sama, Kakashi said formally and moved back with a bow. Kazekage read through the letter and raised an eyebrow in curiosity. Chunin exams? Is that time already? Well, no matter. Suna will take part, he said and started writing his reply. After completing it, he sealed it and handed it to Kakashi. Thank you, Kazekage-sama. We will take our leave, Kakashi said with a bow. Team 7 followed him and left the room after the Kazekage nodded. Phew, that went well. Let's eat, Kakashi said as Team 7 left the Kazekage Tower. Razasama, they are dash. I know, Baki. The wind that the blonde kid used is strong. He has an affinity comparable to or even stronger than our shinobi to wind, Raza said, observing the leaving Team 7. They are envoys from an ally, Baki. By sending them, that old monkey wants to reassure us that the bond is still strong. Kakashi is not an ordinary jounin to be sent on a mission like this. Guess the old monkey still has his sharp wit, Raza said with a smirk. What do you mean he has wind comparable to our shinobi, father? Temari, who couldn't hold herself, asked. It's what it is, Temari. Now go train. I want you to beat him when you participate in the Chunin exams. Kankuro, send Gaara on your way out, he ordered, and the Sand siblings left without protest. Meanwhile, with Team 7. Chunin exams? Like the ones all villages shinobi participate in? Sakura asked enthusiastically. As soon as they left the Kazekage Tower, she became chatty again and all members relaxed. Yes, Sakura, they are the same. I didn't expect the Kazekage to agree that quickly. Maybe he has something planned, Kakashi said with an eye smile. I definitely think the red-haired kid is trouble. Speaking of which, Naruto looked upon a small house. Where are you looking, Naruto? Sakura asked in confusion and followed his gaze. The said red-haired boy stood there, staring at them coldly. The half-covered man appeared beside him and said something to him. They both left. He seems rather curious about you, Naruto, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Bugs me as well, Naruto replied as they continued to find something to eat. Chapter 13. The Darkness. With Team 7. Chunin exams? Like the ones all villages shinobi participate in? Sakura asked enthusiastically. As soon as they left the Kazekage Tower, she became chatty again and all members relaxed. Yes, Sakura. They are the same. I didn't expect the Kazekage to agree that quickly. Maybe he has something planned, Kakashi said with an eye smile. I think the red-haired kid is trouble. Speaking of which, Naruto looked upon a small house. Where are you looking, Naruto? Sakura asked in confusion and followed his gaze. The said red-haired boy stood there, staring at them coldly. The half-covered man appeared beside him and said something to him. They both left. He seems rather curious about you, Naruto, Kakashi noted. Bugs me as well, Naruto replied as they continued to find something to eat. After trying many local varieties, Naruto ended with his favorite ramen and Team 7 was satisfied with their meals. What's next, sensei? Naruto asked in high spirits. He liked this place though it's hot and windy, he somehow liked it. Maybe because of the wind. He loves wind after all. We will report to Hokage, Kakashi said with a serious face. Team 7 turned to him in confusion as he suddenly turned serious. Team 7 looked up to an empty sand dune. Naruto noticed the abnormal wind blowing there. Sasuke also noticed after scanning the area with his Sharingan. Sakura is looking dumbly. How about I show you how to defend against a strong wind user there? Kakashi asked, surprising the trio. Kakashi is surprisingly cooperative with them, teaching them many things. He looked around to check for something and Naruto knew he was counting the number of Umbu that were following them and also noticed how the area is just outside the village which doesn't push them into trouble with its shinobi. We are in, sensei, Naruto said with an excited smile. Sasuke nodded his acknowledgement and Sakura followed, unable to deny. They showed their IDs and moved out of the village, and as their food supplies are full, they don't need to stop anywhere to stock them, so it was a perfect time. As they moved to the dune, they were bombarded with strong gusts of wind, which was so strong Sakura was almost blown away. Naruto made a single hand sign with a slash of his hand, creating a barrier of wind around them. You are becoming an expert wind user, Naruto, Kakashi said in an impressed tone. He is so like sensei, he thought as he saw a shadow of an older blonde man. With Naruto's barrier protecting them, they slowly made their way up to the other side of the dune, where anyone can't see them. The Umbu following them were confused by this. They have the equipment to look past the dune in case anyone tries to invade them, but not the other side of the dune itself. It was deemed a dangerous construct and the Kazekage didn't see any further security need there. And so Team 7 was somehow in the blind spot of Suna where they couldn't be monitored. The news immediately reached the Kazekage who laughed and dismissed the team. So my dear sweet students, you should know some things when you face a wind user. Take Naruto for example. First, its strengths and weaknesses. Wind is weaker against fire but stronger against lightning. This also applies to other elements as well. Use the naturally stronger element when you are in a ninjutsu fight if you can use it, as it saves both your chakra and will give an advantage. Learning one strong jutsu from all 5 elements is an asset for this reason, Kakashi said in his lecture mode, and his students looked at him with wide eyes. He is never one to explain something in this detail, and this only proves the knowledge and experience their sensei had. They looked at him expectantly, to which Kakashi nodded negatively. No, I won't teach you any jutsu now. First master your basic elemental training and then some. Then I'll think. Though they are disappointed, they like this side of their sensei. They need to be strong to face that kid. He is definitely trouble if he participates in Chunin exams, thought Kakashi. Then he continued his teaching. With their newly gained knowledge, Team 7 started their journey back to Konoha. Naruto still holding the wind barrier around his team, which didn't go unnoticed by 2 of the 3 members. 3 days later. Hokage Tower, Konoha. Yes, I received Kazekage's message, Hiruzen said, acknowledging Kakashi's brief of the mission. Kakashi bowed, finishing his report. Surprisingly, we also got positive messages from Kumo, Kiri, and a request to participate by Oto, Hiruzen said, smoking from his pipe. Oto? Kakashi asked, and Hiruzen nodded. Looks like a small shinobi village formed in Oto no Kuni with daimyo's approval. Nothing much is known other than that, Hiruzen said while the whole Team 7 listened. Anyway, here is your mission payment for a successful mission. You are dismissed. Rest for the week. We will continue next week, Kakashi said, and Team 7 left, Kakashi still standing in front of the Hokage. Anything interesting, Kakashi? Hiruzen asked in a curious tone with his pipe on the table. A few, Hokage-sama. Firstly, Kazekage's youngest son Kakashi started and went on explaining his observations during the mission. It's a long discussion, to say the least. Lastly, Naruto. Where should I start? He gained a very good mastery of wind, his main element. From Guy's words, I can confirm that Naruto mastered Fujinkan. Fujinkan, you say? Hiruzen asked in surprise. Hi, Kakashi nodded. Interesting. Very interesting. I didn't think someone could master that style. Fujinkan is one of the 5 elemental taijutsu styles and the toughest of all as well. It's not time for a tangent. Hiruzen stopped himself and listened to Kakashi's impressed explanation of Naruto's wind use.